Hi, everybody. Well, first of all, greeting and best wishes for the new year, basically. So, first of all, we are in a very interesting situation regarding the diamond industry that is very, very serious. Sometimes I do these webinars and I'm throwing a joke, put in a video, entertain people. And what's happening right now is my sense of entertainment is, this is not an entertaining, kind of a scenario right now. So I'm going to be pretty serious about what I'm saying, what I mean, a little less emotional and a lot more rational. So the webinar is sponsored by RapNet. These things cost quite a bit of money, and I want to thank RapNet for sponsoring us. I want to thank all our RapNet members who are coming in and joining. I also want to thank the Rapaport team, the extra T there, the research people, the presentation people, the web broadcast people. You'd be amazed how many people it takes to actually put out one of these webinars, at least the way that we do it. Brief background about Rapaport. I cannot emphasize enough how helpful it's been for us to have these values because it really helps direct the company. And so it's ethical, transparent, competitive, efficient markets. And if you can just, our goal is to accomplish these things, to be very transparent, to be competitive, and to also allow other competitors to work with us and to encourage competition in the diamond industry, even if it's competition, against us. That's fine. And also creating these efficient markets. We were established in 1978. We have about 160 team members in 9 offices in 6 countries. And we have over 22,000 clients in 121 countries. We are in the added value service business, which means that we do not buy diamonds for our own accounts to buy them and trade them and sell them. What we do is information services, and we've been spending a lot more effort on information services lately. And it's really like amazing how much you can learn if you spend money, and we spend literally millions of dollars on doing research, pricing, checking out what's going on in the world around us, and really also trying to understand what's in the diamond industry. We're going to be making some major changes to our information services over the next couple of weeks and months, and we'll let you know about what's going on. RapNet, of course, we have daily listings of $9 billion, 1.6 million diamonds. And that's changed. The daily listings have gone up and down along with the markets. When you had this thing in India where they weren't buying rough, and so production was down, we could feel that our listings, the number of listings, and the value went down. Rapaport Auctions and Trading Services, and that's a separate company. It's a separate division, and that thing does brokerage. It does auctions, and our melling and single stone auctions are a big thing. We're probably one of the biggest, probably the biggest recycler of diamonds in the world today. And that's really amazing because the market for diamonds is going to be incredible in the recycling or vintage or estate jewelry. That is going to be huge because there's I think it's 23.7 million Americans over the age of 70. And they bought diamonds, whatever, they're 70, so like 50 years ago, they were buying diamonds, and that would make them, the 1970s, 80s, and there you had a tremendous amount of maybe 90s. There were a lot of goods available at good prices. Rapaport Auctions, okay, social responsibility and source certification, and this is really important where we're going there. We're going to be issuing source certificates. We have the Green Star program coming up on RapNet, so there's going to be a lot of effort on our part, and it'll very much go in together with what we're talking about and what we're doing with this talk that we're doing today, this webinar that I'm doing today. You'll understand and you'll see what is going on in terms of how we are developing this whole idea of source certification with all the other efforts that are going on. Is it a synthetic diamond? Where did you get it from? Sanctions, all kinds of demands by consumers. Where was my diamond mined? God knows what else. Now, what we're going to be doing today, and let me see if I can, I see that some people are raising their hands, which is fine. But what I'm going to suggest is that we will break at certain times to do things, but you can always enter your questions, okay, in the questions box that you see, and that would be very good. I don't know how much time we'll have for interactive human talking, but that is something we will do. I'm going to close this thing right now, hopefully. All right. So we're going to talk about the general market situation. Then we're going to look at synthetics, then we're going to look at sanctions, and then we're going to come up with conclusions. So what do we do about all this? And let me tell you, it's not easy. It's just not an easy time for the diamond industry. And if I look to the future, it's also, quite tough in many ways. But we'll go right into everything. I also want to say that be careful. When I speak and I put ideas out there, weigh them yourself. Think about them. I can be wrong. You might have different views, and you got to go with your guts rather than Joe Martin Rapport said do this and do that. And I don't necessarily have answers for everything, but I have ideas that can let you think about how you can strategically position yourself in what I consider to be very difficult times. All right. So let me just close this here. Okay. The natural diamond market is in a difficult and serious, and I would almost say dangerous situation. I've been around now 45, 46 years. And let me tell you, have seen worse times. Okay. I've seen very tough times in the 1980s. I wore a bulletproof vest for a while. But these are times which give you an opportunity to reposition yourself strategically and mentally so that you can now think, okay, this is where I'm going to go. This is how we're going to make money in the diamond business. And it's very different for everybody. So this is not just a short-term perfect storm. It's not like, okay, boom, sanctions, boom, synthetics, boom, other things going on with China disappearing from us, from the market pretty much. That's not just all those three things happening. But what we're looking at is fundamental changes, fundamental restructuring that's going to have a great long-term impact on the diamond business. Pay attention to that. Because what we're talking about now is not just, oh, it's a week, it's a month, it's this and that. The challenges we face are not going away. We will have to fight to survive. Fight, I mean, change, move differently, think differently. So the outlook is good if we take action. I'm not saying, well, I should say the outlook is bad if we don't take action, but I'd rather say it in a nice way. We expect natural diamond demand and revenue to fall by as much as 20% in 2024. Now, this, you'll see, follows a fall at, say, De Beers sales, which is a relatively good indicator of how it's going on in the market. They fell 37% in 2023. Now, it's true. 2022 was a very good year because of all the government money that's coming through, but it's not good. We're just going down. So that's that. I don't like to see De Beers sales go down so much, and we'll show you the slides. Synthetics are expected to take over about, I would estimate, about 40%. Some people say they're 20% now of the U.S. engagement ring and bridal market. Maybe it's only the engagement ring market that they're really moving and strong. And it's not just that. As you'll see, we segment the markets because, engagement rings are one thing, bridal engagement rings, and fine jewelry and fashion jewelry. These are all different things and different ways of approaching consumers and different motivations for the people that are buying diamonds. So the battle for fine jewelry is just starting. We've been dealing with this issue of engagement rings, which has been tremendous for the synthetics market and the synthetics people, and they make fortunes. I mean, huge windfall profits. Oh, here's a diamond. A guy walks in the store, I want an engagement ring. Oh, look, I have something for you. It's a natural, it's 15,000, but I can give you this for 7,000 or something, or 8,000, whatever it is. But they can actually buy it for 2,000. So the profits are like, wow, for synthetics, which is attracting everybody. So I'm saying that it looks to me like it's going to be 40% of the market. Now, let me just go back over here. Yeah. As synthetics continue to take market share, they're plummeting prices. And I'm telling you, synthetics are going to $10 to $50 to $80 a carat. Will drive B2C competition. That means you might say, oh, okay, I don't care if synthetics are selling for $100 a carat and I can buy a 5-carat for $500 or something. But I'm going to retail, I can charge any amount I want. That's not what's going to happen because Walmart will put the stuff up. Competitors will push the prices from B2C down. So generally, B2B, if you're dealing with price-sensitive consumers, if B2B prices come down, B2C prices are going to follow. Not always so quickly, but that definitely happens. So that competition is going to severely reduce retail revenue. How much money you're making in your store? Can you pay for the lights? Can you pay for the rent? The margins, the profit margins that you're getting, what's left over after you pay expensive, and of course your profits. So the margins are like, you could make big margins today on synthetics, much smaller margins on naturals, but that's going to change. So I'm predicting lower margins, not for all, but it's too cheap, man. It's so cheap that people are going to compete. It is reasonable to expect synthetic diamond B2C prices to decline to the same level as synthetic ruby, emerald, and sapphire prices did. if I'm on a road that no one's ever traveled, okay, Mr. Rapaport, what are you talking? But I've looked at those other things. That stuff's at like at the B2B area, it's about $5 to $40, and maybe even in the B2C. So those prices came down to those levels, and I'm predicting the same thing will happen with synthetic diamonds. And I'm not saying synthetic diamonds are evil. I'm just saying the prices are coming down, which puts them into a different position in the market. So how profitable, I ask you, how profitable are other synthetic and simulant gemstones for you as jewelers? You jewelers that are on the call, or dealers, whoever you are on this thing, come on, what happened? Is everybody, I remember emeralds, everybody was making so much money, but that died down. If you want to understand the future of synthetic diamonds, look at the future of these other gemstones. It'll be slightly different. Definitely gives you a way to look at things. How much profits can a jeweler make selling synthetic diamonds that cost tens of dollars per carat instead of natural diamonds that cost thousands of dollars per carat? Well, depends who they are. Swarovski, Pandora, Walmart, Amazon, they can do very well with products that only cost tens of dollars, and they design it. Look at the Swarovski, beautiful designs. And he's not even putting out synthetic diamonds, or he will, but right now he's putting out crystal glass. And he's making a wonderful business, and they got lots of stores everywhere. So if you're built for it, synthetics could be a very good business for you. And I personally, as you'll see, I'm not against all synthetics because I'm emotional. I'm just looking at realistically, what can we expect for the natural diamond business? That's where I'm dancing. Now, jewelry designers can be more creative with lower cost synthetics, as they are with other gems and other, I'm going to the AGTA conference next week in Las Vegas, not Las Vegas, in Tucson. And I can see that, there's a lot of interesting, exciting things done with less expensive colored stones. But the big question is, can you as independent jewelers make an honest living selling synthetics instead of natural diamonds? You might be able to sell synthetics and natural diamonds. But if you're selling synthetic engagement rings instead of natural diamond engagement rings, can you make an honest living? And I use the word honest because of all the switcheroonies and everything going on. Now, the point about what's happening in the prices, I think everybody, Golan and Zeminski and everybody in every newspaper is jumping around quoting these things. But we looked at our own data here, and we never really were looking at synthetics that carefully. So we do look at them now. So you see a 56% decline in synthetic prices over this past year, and a 25% decline in natural diamonds. And there is something to do. I do think there's a relationship. So when synthetics have sucking out the engagement ring market, it means other people that are coming in engagement rings, I'm going to lower my diamond prices because, well, they're not going to lower the prices so much. It's like you're going to sell less. If you sell less natural diamond engagement rings, your quantity of what you sell is down, and therefore you may see some price changing. But I'm going to come up with a solution for this in terms of how we think and what we sell. But I don't believe long-term that synthetic prices are going to have that level where it's going to reduce the prices of natural diamonds. So just bear with me here, but I think the long-term scenario is going to be a lot better than what we're experiencing now. Look, every hustler, bustler, the guys who used to sell Bitcoins, they all jumped into the diamond business, and they're making so much money, and they're marketing. So as those profits and as those hustlers decline, I think we're going to get into a situation where the relationship's going to be different, because there'll be a very strong bifurcation, separation between natural diamonds and synthetic diamonds for the engagement ring market. So synthetic diamonds will be separated from the natural diamond. Now you got to understand there will be product segregation. Means, okay, this is a synthetic, this is a natural. There's going to be segmentation. Segmentation means different markets. There's a luxury market. There's a fine jewelry market. There's a fashion jewelry market. There's a bridal called engagement ring market, which is part of the luxury market. But if we looked at things broadly, we would understand that there are actually different diamond markets out there. And curation means, what are you providing? What are you offering? Okay. And so there's going to be a lot of separations going on here. Now, synthetics are not a normal competitor. I'm not saying they're an evil competitor, although there have been evil sections where people were not disclosing that this is synthetic. And there are trickeries going on. But we looked at all the major sellers, all the big stores, and I think that they are now fairly disclosing to their customers that synthetic diamonds are very different than natural diamonds. So before, there was a lot of this kind of a fraud to the consumer, which I was very angry about. I'm still angry about it. I mean, it's one thing when we do fraud or fixing or schnoodling inside the diamond industry. But when we go out there and screw consumers, it is the mother of evil. It's terrible. So that's something that was a very strong concern, which is eased. But we have detection limitations. My friends, if you have an M-colored diamond, a nice, beautiful, they used to sell this stuff in Texas all the time, MNOPQ diamond, and it's the brown, say, okay, and it faces up really great in like Texas or places near the equator. How do you know if that's a synthetic diamond? You can't put it on the regular machines. The regular machines, LMN, lower colors, you can't detect it unless you go to a laboratory, and you really have to bend over backwards, which might be interesting because now you're going to have to get certs on O colors or whatever and see how that works. And the other thing is small melee. I mean, we're handling hundreds of thousands of carats of melee. Unbelievable. I mean, we might do 40,000 carats in a typical auction. And you cannot imagine, it's easy to detect. In other words, I can put that stuff in a Yehuda machine and I can just lay it all out. And they have machines for $15,000 and you can lay out a lot of stuff. And then you can see any reds show up. But what do you do when reds do show up? You're sitting there trying to take care of minus 6, minus 6 or 2.5 size, 2.5, that's the SIB sizes on these things. It's almost impossible. Pulling them out is very difficult. So that's reducing certain people. They don't check. They can't check. Normal people can't check. We check at our auctions, but it's very difficult. The GIA is amazing. They have a great machine that does that. But that's a problem. Detection. Mixing. They mix them in. They put it in. They put that. There is even jewelry today that has some synthetics and some natural. So, you don't know what you're dealing with. And fraud. Outright fraud. I'm not just talking about cases where people cut synthetic diamonds, and sometimes they actually cut, natural diamonds with lower color and clarity to exactly match the diamond grading report of the GIA, or they put in these things. I'm talking about all kinds of fraud that is taking place with synthetics. There's also fraud in natural diamonds. So I want to be careful here. It's not like I'm emotionally crazy against synthetics. I recognize them. And so that's not, people say, oh, he's ranting, he's going crazy. Yeah, we have a program that warns people, especially consumers, hey, be careful with synthetic diamonds. But anyways, the issue over here is that there are areas of fraud, there are areas of mixing, which does not exist so much with natural, and detection limitations, which you don't have with natural. So we should be aware this is the thing that we're dealing with. So we're going to separate these markets to the best we can. Not just, everybody is. So sellers of natural diamonds should honestly answer these questions. Why should consumers buy natural diamonds at 9 times the price for the same quality synthetics? I mean, it's crazy. Why? Why spend that money? Now, if you're talking about fashion jewelry, that's a real big question. There's no answer. I mean, there is an answer for people who want to buy something authentic or they're wealthy and they don't care about price. But, and I'm going to explain that natural diamonds are another animal. It's not just that synthetics are there, but natural diamonds have their own power, their own energy, their own reason for them to be bought. But if you look at, fashion jewelry, why buy it? And then you look at engagement rings. The reasons of why you would buy one and pay 9 times more is significant. But you got to think about that. And I want you to understand like what's happening. It's this December's Cosmopolitan magazine. It's a kind of a sexy magazine for women. My wife was laughing. Why are you buying this? And I wanted to see what are young American women, that are trendy, that are cool. What are they reading? And are they talking about things? And I find this article, Rise of the Planet of the Dupes. Dupes they're referring to is like pocket, we call them fake. They're not fake. They're duplicate pocketbooks that look like these other pocketbooks. So let me quote a little bit from what it said in the article. The head of the article says, do people really care about real deal anymore? They're not talking about diamonds. They're talking about everything. Do you really need the real thing? You are a Gen Z. You are millennial. And that's where that magazine is orientated to. Do you really care if it's real or it looks real? The stigma is gone. Once you were embarrassed to talk to your girlfriends or other people, girlfriends you tell everything to, talking to friends or other people coming along and saying, oh, you got this, but it's not a real one. Don't you feel bad? Nah. Everybody knows that you have a good, you're doing a dupe. They call it duplicates or whatever, dupes they call it. I was talking to Savile, and Savile was talking to people doing some basic research just among our Rapaport team. And they said, if you have a Birkin, I know they'll come to a fancy pocketbook, and you can buy a $5 or $10 copy, people are not going to do that. But $100, $150 copy of a $10,000 pocketbook, women will buy that. Not all women, but our team said, yeah, they would go into that. And they say dupes are everywhere for everything. And this is a key one. Consumers are no longer interested in genuine artifacts. I always think it's authentic. Today it looks cool. Go with it, baby. They crave an overall aesthetic. How does it look? How does it feel? What does it match with? Okay. So the idea that we can rely upon natural diamonds to be sold and push that argument that it's a genuine for the new American women and stuff, it's not carrying the weight it once did. And I want to make sure everybody understands here. The world is a crazy place. If I want to understand what's going on and what we're dealing with in this webinar, it's the U.S. market for polished diamonds. That is my focus. It's not like I don't care about the rest of the world, but we're a U.S. company. We have U.S. laws. We are a U.S. entity, even when we're operating in other places. I'm interested in the U.S. And by the way, the U.S. buys more than 50% of the world's diamonds. So that's what I'm looking at. How are women in the United States thinking? I'm not talking about how women in China or India, even though India is like the third biggest market, maybe soon to be the second. I'm not talking about how those women are thinking. I'm talking about America. Everything I'm going to be talking about today will be focusing on America. So you say, okay, Cosmopolitan magazine, women, 20s to 30s, something like that, maybe 35s. Okay, who cares? Well, then I went and took a look at the Wall Street Journal. What was it, the 11th? That was like, I don't know. Today's the 24th. Not that, 2 weeks ago. Now look, the title, it was Thursday before last Thursday. Lab-grown diamonds go green. Wonderful article. And they tell you what people are thinking. And they make the point that in some instances, and even me, I'm believing it, lab-grown diamonds are better than natural diamonds. What am I talking about? Let's see what they said in the article. And this is a couple that the Wall Street Journal was talking about. They interviewed them, they were talking with them, and then they're quoting what they said. She really did not want a natural diamond. She didn't want it because of the child labor. Whether there is child labor, there isn't child labor, which maybe there isn't. Botswana is a wonderful country that's helping people. She, in her mind, said, do not get me a natural diamond, hubby, or fiance. In an ideal world, she said, I want a lab-grown diamond that was made with renewable energy. Think about that. You got these factories that are knocking out synthetic diamonds. And look, she used the phrase lab-grown. Right? I use synthetic. They're knocking out these synthetic diamonds using solar energy. The sun is shining. No holes, no labor. I don't know about the child labor when they cut these diamonds, but okay. But she says, that's what I want. A woman that says to a guy who loves her, this is what I want. That's like a get out of jail free card. I mean, you got it. I mean, one of the research that we did that told us a while ago was that the biggest concern that guys who are giving diamonds to women, and I'm not saying there aren't gays, I'm not saying there aren't all kinds of other people. I just happen to go with cis right now. Forgive me. But I'm not against anybody. I'm not against guys marrying guys, women marrying women. It's whatever. Back to the story here. I'm going to use the model of the U.S. market, and I'm going to use the story of cis, which means, regular heterosexuals. So she says what she wants. You know what she wants. Give it to her. But a lot of people are afraid. I buy an engagement ring. She's not going to like it. Hopefully she's not going to say no, but she's not going to be happy. All right. Then listen to this. Same Wall Street Journal article. I trust the Wall Street Journal more than the New York Times, by the way. But that's another story. About 75 of Gen Z consumers said that sustainability was more important to them than brand. Now, some of the brands subsume that the diamonds that they buy are from sustainable and good sources like Tiffany. But, everyone's saying it's a brand, then you don't have to worry about it. There's this kind of thing going on in people's heads that, sustainability and social responsibility, just because a guy's a brand doesn't guarantee it. And 71% were willing to pay more for sustainability products, not just diamonds, just in general. And this is research that is being done at the University of Pennsylvania. For some, having a stone made with renewable energy is something to brag about. Look at my diamond. The old days, look at my diamond. Another woman would say, oh, you got a big diamond, makes me jealous. You bought a blood diamond. You know? But now, women are walking around, look at my diamond. And I'm telling you, that look at my diamond, that is very much part of the culture of engagement, of relation. You know, it's not just look at my diamond. Look, I got a diamond. I also got a guy. So it's a really important thing when you talk about people making this commitment. Okay. So you're proud of it. You brag about it. You show it off. You know what impact that has on other women? I want one of those things that I can brag about. She's got something better than me. Be careful here. So are synthetic diamonds made with solar energy better than natural diamonds? Are they? Maybe they are. I think they are, frankly. Well, let me put it this way. The better the natural diamonds if I don't know where the natural diamonds are from. So in the synthetic world, someone can stand up and wave the flag. Now you have diamonds do good. You have Botswana. You have all kinds of good things going on. And they are starting to make this really good campaign. But, it's just the bears talking. I don't trust them. In the world today, nobody trusts anybody. I don't trust most of these news sources. I don't even trust the New York Times. Okay. So anyways, should Rapaport list these kinds of synthetic diamonds? Should we start separating? You cannot separate synthetic diamonds. It's an F, it's a G, it's an F. I think the GI is making, I love the GI, they're great people, but they're making silly, okay? It's ridiculous. I mean, maybe they should be doing color and clarity grading for quartz, okay, also. But I'm not here to knock the GI. I love what they're doing. But the big point is, should we list them? Should we segment out, not by color, but by source? Should we say, this diamond comes from solar energy? This diamond comes from Botswana. This diamond, so when we talked about all these C's, color, clarity, cut, how about, this issue of how are we going to grade diamonds, price diamonds, trade diamonds, wholesale diamonds, retail diamonds, depending on their source or where they come from or what benefit they provide society in the world. That's what's coming, everybody. That's going to be a way to add value to your diamonds, to your rough, to your polished. You can add value by talking about where it comes from and the traceability and stuff. Should Rapaport list them? I never want to list any synthetic diamonds. I don't want to do that. But that's not just me. And, should we list synthetic diamonds? I don't think so. We're not going to do it so fast, but it does raise the question. If this is a legitimate, good diamond, people aren't being cheated, why not? Should we price them? The pricing is weird because if we looked at the B2B price on these things, I'm telling you, they're going to run around $40, $20, tens of dollars a carat. Okay, so yeah, I can do a price list for synthetic diamonds, rubies, emeralds, etc. It's all going to be in that kind of price range. So, we're thinking about all kinds of things. I'm going to the AGTA show. But, we're looking at it, but I don't think we're ever going to do that because I think it legitimizes the price. And I'm not going to legitimize the price for something that I believe is dropping, seriously. That's the other problem. It's dropping. Yeah. Anybody want to buy some swampland in Florida? I got that for you. Anybody want to buy, things that are just dropping? Why would I sell something and someone's going to buy and then, well, I tell them it's dropping, but it's still, anyways. I'm not here to knock synthetics today. I'm here to recognize what they are and how they're going to impact us. All right. So we talked these theories. Nice general theories. Let's look at the money. Money talks. So first of all, this is pretty scary right here. We look at 19, 20, 21, and we can see what happened to 30 pointers and 3 caraters. I mean, in 2021, 3 caraters went up. We all thought, oh my God, COVID might be coming back, by the way. I just took my COVID shot this past week. I'm in America, 5th cycle or whatever. But 19% went up. Down 3%, down 11%. And, synthetics had a big job there. But when the people have a lot of money, like they did after the government stimuluses, so you saw that big boom in 2021, 1 carat went up 17%. But 2023, they went down 21%. So I said, let's look from 2019, which is before COVID to today. We are not doing so well. 16%, 28% drop in half carat. Maybe that's because China a lot, but that's weird. I mean, it's not weird. I understand it. 18% for caraters and 10% for 3 caraters. But, and you can see the here it was, diamond prices were even going down as COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, they started to go up because of the government stimulus. And they moved up, baby. It was like bust, boom, and then bust. We are at worse prices now than we were in January 2019. So one way to look at this, oh, okay, isn't that terrible? The other way, oh, we have where to go up. We could find ways to increase our market. We see that liquidity is a big factor. You throw money at people and you force them to stay home, they're going to spend money in diamonds and jewelry. But look over here, this little cutie pie thing over here. That's nice. We're starting, I think we hit the bottom. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm predicting another 20% decline in revenues and stuff that will show you. But this is nice to see. You see a little kitschy here. You see that over here. But this is important. Now you might say, okay, Rapaport. Well, I am talking about Rappies that are, it's RAP specification 3 plus, A3 plus, which basically no fluorescent, decent stones and stuff like that. So it's not KL I1s. Okay, that's not graphing that. But I will say to you, you might think it's only characters, and then I go down over here and I say, hey, everybody, this is what happened. And then look, you know, the 5 characters give 30% decline since January of 2019. The red guys are the characters, 20% loss, 10% here. So anyway, they're all dancing together pretty much, but they're all moving like in the same direction a lot of the time. But it's not just characters. Okay. Now, here's an embarrassment. This is really, you know, this is one of the reasons I'm looking at myself now, holy gosh, what is going on here? We look from January 19 to January 24. S&P 500, which I happen to own. I tell my kids, you want to invest? Buy spiders, maybe a bit of whatever's called Buffett and T-bills. But look at the spiders, the SPY, S&P 500, you know, this thing's up like 80-something%. Everything's up. Gold is up. GDP is up. Gold, and these guys are beating GDP. And De Beers goal was always, let's beat GDP. And now, kerchunk. What the hell is going on? Why is gold going up and we're going down? And I'm not saying I'm not talking about investment on mistake. I'm just talking about what's going on with our business. And you might say, oh, I can sell, it's an investment. If I hold diamond inventory, my wife starts to look at, we never do at Rapaport, but, you know, what am I doing here? You know, these diamonds are going to be sold like hot potatoes. So, you know, sitting on inventory is not a great way to make money. So this is, and it's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing that we are below this thing. And this is telling me that there's something fundamentally wrong. But my friends, you ain't seen nothing yet. Look at this. Okay. So we're looking at De Beers sales. And De Beers is a key indicator of what's going on. Especially now it's going to be very important because with the Russian sanctions, De Beers is going to be a very important supplier. And I got to tell you, I really, you know, I talk about De Beers a lot. De Beers is doing some wonderful things. I was in Sierra Leone about, I don't know, 7 weeks ago, and I went to visit their gem fair, and they are doing God's work there. No other way to describe it. They're working with artisanal diggers. They're coming up with great ways to track the diamonds. They're legitimizing the poorest people in the world. They're helping them. And I tell you, a gem fair is amazing, absolutely amazing. And do credit to De Beers. And also, when we look at the diamonds, as you see, we're going to talk about the regulations or sanctions. I trust De Beers a lot, almost totally, in terms of their supply chain, in terms of the fact that the diamonds they sell really do come from their mines and that their mines are really socially responsible. And this is about as good a source of diamond you can never get. Maybe if you had fair trade, maybe gem fair is better than even the Botswanas. Not because it's a better story, because people have what to eat that wouldn't normally have what to eat. So that's a very powerful thing. In any case, De Beers is doing a lot of good stuff. But look at this. They're down 37. I thought they were down 30%. They're down 37% in their revenue. I'm predicting they're going to lose another 20% in revenue, under $3 billion. That's scary. That's bothersome to me. You know, I think that in some ways De Beers is in trouble. The marketing, I'm not going to get into De Beers right now so much, other than to say they're doing a great job in 2 areas, for sure. They're doing an amazing job, like I said, with Gem Fair. I love artisanal. I mean, just, you know, I always say, why did God, you know, give diamonds to the poorest people in the world and then make the richest want them? And the answer is because that's the role of the diamond industry. I call it tikkun olam, fixing the world, helping the poorest people with this product called diamonds. And Gemfair does that for sure. And they're also in Botswana. So there's a lot of good things. And the other things, the reliability of the supply chain. I don't believe that De Beers is screwing around, pulling in diamonds from other sources. I think De Beers' statements about what it is pretty straight. It doesn't mean all the site holders are kosher. I don't think that either. And I don't know, but you can always pick at things. But I would say to you, the baseline for Rapaport's consideration of what are ethically sourced diamonds, De Beers fits that bill. Okay. But there are daddies, and they're not our daddies. Let me make sure. De Beers is not your daddy. Okay? But they are in trouble here if their revenue keeps going down. And I don't know how good they can be without making decent profits. And look at the other thing here. Botswana is now again, there's the same diamonds, by the way, okay? But Botswana and De Beers are definitely tied together. Okay? But this worries me. And my prediction worries me. I hope it doesn't happen. Okay? And again, this is a tough year here, 37%, because the Indians stopped buying for 2 months, which, by the way, credit to the GJPC. They stopped this oversupply situation, and they also stopped the financial crisis within the diamond industry because the site holders, they were running every time. I need money to buy the next site. I need money to buy the next site. They stopped. They breathe. My Apple Watch here, it's got a little notification every now and then. It says, stop, breathe, meditate. It gave the industry a chance to breathe, financially breathe, because the big power wasn't only that this stopped this tremendous oversupply of diamonds that was hurting everything. You couldn't get out of it. It's like you're sitting in mud or quicksand. But it also gave everybody a financial breather, which was very, very important. Everybody. And so that was good. So I don't care about the prices. It's just, how do you run a business? So that was concerning. And you can see over here the relationship between De Beers sales and Botswana exports. They're linked. They're right there. Let's see if the difference is probably South Africa, Venetian, whatever. But going back up here, government of Botswana picked up $4 billion. Now it's $2 billion in 2 years. And they're building roads and paying hospitals, education. This is scary. I just want to tell you, this thing is like a 3-alarm fire, okay, for me. Now, not for everybody. People, different businesses doing different things. If you're in China, you got a different reason to be worried. But let me tell you, diamond industry in general, I don't want to see this 20% decline. But I don't know that it's not going to happen. If you ask me rationally, what do you think is going to happen? I think there's going to be a decline. Not necessarily bad. Well, bad for the individuals. But anyways, I just need to emphasize that. So Botswana and De Beers are the same. And if we're going to, so what am I focusing on? I'm not showing you Russian. Why am I not showing you Russian? Because I'm looking at the U.S. market for polished. And I'm telling you, the U.S. market for polished is not going to include all those Russian diamonds. So I'm looking at like a piece of a market or a segmenting of a market. So think about revenue. I don't know if I don't see this thing over here. Here, revenue. What is revenue? Revenue is price times the quantity you sell. That's it. So there's only 2 ways that De Beers can increase or decrease or control the revenue. One is to increase or decrease the prices. So I sell the same amount at a higher price, I get more revenue. The other thing is that I increase the quantity we sell. So if I sell more goods at the same price, my revenue goes up. I didn't say profits, because you can have all kinds of things happening on the cost side of the equation. But you can look at your revenue. Now, you should understand that revenue does work both ways. So the first whack is from synthetics. And don't underestimate the market power of synthetics, anybody. It's huge. And my understanding and thinking is it's going to be taking at least a 30% bite out of the regular natural diamond market. And I'll explain why in a few minutes, but say 30%. But it came along. We sold less goods. Then you can say we sold less goods because we were overstocked and it's all a financial story. That's not the case. We sold less goods because synthetics are eating our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe only the dinner, the engagement ring, which is an important market. That's why we sold less. So synthetics diamonds reduce demand and sales for natural diamonds. The quantity De Beers can sell at existing prices declines. Obviously, if the quantity they sell goes down, the revenue goes down. And I want people to think revenue. It's not just prices. Prices are not so important. Okay, you got some inventory. You want to think about prices. God bless you. But actually, the revenue is what counts because I can sell less at a higher price and actually have greater revenue. By the way, that's how I'm thinking about natural diamonds. Less for more. We'll get to that too. But, so this issue of the quantity you sell is right now reducing De Beers revenue. Now, think about this. At the latest site in January, is it in January? December? De Beers lowered prices by about 10%. Now, this was consistent with their policy of not building inventory. So if you want to understand what's going to happen in 24, what's going to happen in 25, you might look at policies. But if the markets are in upheaval and the level of uncertainty is incredibly high, then you don't know what the policies are going to have to change. But anyways, this is the consistency with the policy. It was especially important for them to sell since the 2-month Indian moratorium on rough imports increased De Beers inventory. So it's not only that you don't have, it's not only like, okay, there's an oversupply in the market. Okay, nice thing, Indians, GJPC, reduced production. From their perspective, it's okay, we're going to sell less. My revenue went down. But then the diamonds, I got more diamonds. The diamonds are talking to me. I tell my team, I say, those diamonds that are in the safe that someone gives us to sell for them, every night they're crying, they're saying, sell me, sell me. They're talking, So what is De Beers has got this inventory. In the old days, they would hide it. They would maybe not sell it. They would, what was it called, hoard it, or they would not put it on the market to support prices. But my understanding is since the 2000s, those days I used to talk to Gareth Penny, that policy has changed. De Beers is not in the business of storing diamonds or playing the diamond market. In the business of mining diamonds and selling. So obviously, lower prices impacts revenue. So pricing is an important game. The question is, but it's not the only game. And I'm telling you, prices are not it doesn't matter. Pricing, if we're running about the future of the industry, it doesn't matter. It'll give you a whack on inventory every now and then. But you make money, we make money in the diamond industry, not by mining and then selling what we mine with fixed mining costs to the price that you could sell the diamonds. That's your profit. We in the diamond industry buy at X and sell at X plus Y. Our profits are Y minus X. So if prices go down, bingo. I still make money on the margin. That's true. I take us, right? We're running an auction business, right? So my board of directors says to me, what's going on? And then the less revenue or whatever. I say, well, we did pretty well. But I said, if prices go down 30%, bingo. If I'm making commission, we make 5% sand auctions mostly. Bingo. Then my revenue goes down. So there is an impact to prices and revenue when prices go up or down. But our main business is to add value to diamonds. That's the whole business. Add value, add value. Charge a fair price for your adding value. That's why you exist as a business. So the question is, how much can you increase the quantity of your sales by reducing price? It's called the elasticity of demand. So let's say De Beers drop their prices by 10%. Will they sell 10% more diamonds, 20% more diamonds, 30% more diamonds, 10% less diamonds? Because the reason of why they're dropping prices has to do with synthetics and demand. So what is your price elasticity if you drop your price? And some of you out there might be thinking, what's the price elasticity in my store if I were for diamonds for sale cheap? Will I sell more? And maybe you might think, okay, if I drop my price 10%, I get 20% increase in sales. I'm fine. My revenue is great. I'm making more money. So that might not be such a bad idea. And especially if you're running around like an idiot trying to, I'm always trying to sell more, I'm trying to sell more, and you're killing yourself and you're not making money, you'll be a hell of a lot better off selling half the amount of goods, reducing your costs, and you'll find that your revenue may go down, but your profits will go up. So this idea of what your prices should be and what your markup should be and what's your added value is a very important way to analyze your business. Now, the primary way for natural diamonds to compete against synthetics is by increasing and capturing. What are you going to do? What are you, a natural diamond guy? Synthetics is killing you. What are you going to do? Not just increasing, not just creating, capturing the emotional added value of naturals. Why does a person buy an engagement ring? I mean, in a Tinder world, you get free one-night stands. So why are you getting married is one issue. Maybe because women are coming to the realization that if they have kids, they're going to have to spend time with the same guy. Also, they're getting older, and the thrill and the excitement of those one night Tinder stands is just not what it was. It's not good. But it doesn't give you the satisfaction in life that you want. Women are getting very, very smart and mature. And I shouldn't talk about women, let me tell you. My wife, she hears this. Anything I say is wrong. But the fact of the matter is, the market is changing. Millennials are getting older every day. So they're getting married. They're building relationships. Okay, I have a relationship. Wonderful. I can have children. Wonderful. Why the diamond? Why the gift? I think it's part of the human DNA. Look, before diamonds, I shouldn't say before diamonds, because diamonds, the Galakandiyas, the stuff from India was, I don't know how many years ago, the age of Tevrenye. But think about this. Why is the guy buying her a diamond? You could buy her something else. Give her a car. Diamonds have no utility. You buy her a car, she can drive. You buy her a mink coat, she can wear when it's cold. Fake mink coat. Right? You buy her whatever. But why diamonds? Diamonds have absolutely no utility. And that's the purpose of the diamond. I'm giving you something because I love you. I don't get any benefit from it. But it shows that love is a very strange thing to communicate. You can't package it, but you can with a diamond, especially if it's an expensive diamond. So the best market to check how you create or how you protect or how you promote or how you profit from emotional added value is the diamond engagement ring market. If I go to a woman and I say, listen, this emotional gifting of a tennis bracelet, right? I don't know. The question of whether I should use synthetics or I should use naturals, I don't know. It's a battle. There's going to be a big battle. But diamond engagement rings, Mr. Miyagi, was it Karate Kid? He said, I got to find the quote. Pick the battles you can win. We can win on the diamond engagement. Not all of them. Not for people who are, price conscious, tire kickers. No. They're not going to be our guys. They're going to go for synthetics. Okay. But the people who say, look, I have money. I have a woman that I love, that I want to really give something valuable. I want to give her the best. I know someone close that just gave a gift engagement ring, insisted on a D flawless. The best, the best, the best, the best. Because I want to show her that I love her and she is the best. And I want to go out of my way to do something. That's the market, everybody. That's the market that if we don't capture that market, we're idiots. So we should do our battles with synthetics, with this diamond engagement ring market. Now, DER is the most emotional market. And it also features a conspicuous consumption aspect. Conspicuous consumption, economic terms. Why am I driving the jewelry industry crazy? What is that? Many grooms don't want to buy their fiancé a cheap diamond. Makes them look cheap. They don't feel cheap. So the cheaper synthetics become, the less attractive or sustainable they are for engagement rings. By sending us in a direction that we can really win. This is especially true for wealthy class and also the near wealthy class who have money. I have money. I have enough money. How am I going to spend it? Why wouldn't I spend it on my wife on something beautiful? That's your customer. There's another guy who's running around every day on the internet, and he's trying to buy a nice FAVS2 or something, and his whole thinking is money, and he shows up at your store, and he makes you crazy. I would send him to somebody who's selling synthetics. Ask for a commission. Now, normally, there is an adverse relationship between price and quantity. The lower the price, the more you sell. But in the case of engagement rings for wealthy or new wealthy consumers, the higher the price, the more demand. There are things like, look at cars. Look at Mercedes. You could buy a perfectly workable Toyota for 1/10 the price. No. Why do they buy those cars? Okay, they really drive nicely, but the added value of the car's performance doesn't justify the increasing price. A lot of people think about, pricing and how do I price what I'm doing. So I did this Harvard, I'm like a Harvard alumni now because I did the highest level of blah, blah, of executive education, OPM. And what they taught me was that you should never look at price when you're selling something. Look at the willingness to pay, WTP. What is the willingness to pay of a guy who has money, who wants to really give something special to the girl he wants to marry and spend the rest of his life with? That's the market. Now, different, and you want to spend more because, it's expensive. It's an expensive item. Why do people buy it? You'll see, I'll tell Tiffany all these brands. They want something expensive. They don't mind. The more expensive it is, the more they want it. I mean, you can go on TikTok and see all these movie stars, crazy people. He has a house with 10 million. He has a house with 20 million. This one has a car collection. I was looking at Tom Cruise or something. His car collection. They want to spend money. Yeah, I always say, the cow wants to give milk as much as the farmer wants to milk the cow. So differentiating natural diamonds from synthetic diamonds by charging more for them will increase their demand. We keep thinking like these dealers, like these, I'm sure the people that are selling the top brands and the nice brief brands just look at these diamond dealers wandering around and they laugh to themselves because these diamond guys, they don't get it. Retailers, high-end retailers, yeah, they understand. They start to, but the brands, well, they're not selling what you're selling. Okay? It'll increase demand, quantity sold, and revenue potential. Change your head. Stop sweating over price. Don't compete on price. Find anything else that increases the willingness to pay, which is called adding value. That's where you need to go if you want to succeed in the future diamond industry for natural diamonds. I'll give you a clear direction. De Beers lowering of diamond prices for better quality diamonds. Oh my God, they went down with 10. Is polish going to come down to 10? Well, if I'm a retailer, I hope it does. But damn it, I'm going to make profits. I'm not going to drop the price that I'm selling my consumers, my investors, not investors, my customers. So De Beers lowering of diamond prices for better quality diamonds is a tremendous opportunity for smart, sharp. What do I mean by sharp? Sharp means when the guy offers me a diamond and says, oh, De Beers lowered prices and this and that, and I can't give you a better price, you say, you know what? Go to hell. Maybe someone else I can buy. That's what I think. You got to be sharp if you want to make money, and sharp means that you buy low and you sell high. So if, in fact, prices came down, and the market now has an opportunity for people to make more money if they can keep the price that they sell at, who's going to get the benefit? Jewelers, dealers, manufacturers, rough dealers? How sharp are you? How smart are you? How capable of you attaching yourself to the willingness to pay? I think this is an opportunity. So I don't think that polished prices are going to go down everywhere. But what some people said to us, listen, this propping of prices is bullshit. De Beers was 30% over the price of the market, 25%. Now they're only 10% over the price of the market because if I buy at auctions, I can buy better. And they're still too high. Do you really want to understand what De Beers is selling and why they're able to make more money and why there's a willingness to pay by side holders? Because there's an added value to diamonds if you're going to get the same quality of diamonds every month, and you can keep your factory working, you can keep your employees, you can keep your customers. Because if you had a customer that says to you, I need to buy the same quality and I need delivery 6 months from now and I need to have this stuff, you need to buy from a consistent supplier. And therefore, De Beers is adding value to diamonds by providing a site holder system with consistent supply, and therefore there's a greater willingness to pay by site holders for the same goods not bought at auction, but bought so they have a consistent supply of goods. Now, here's this very important point, guys. Jewelers must understand that real diamonds, natural diamonds, are not for everyone. There's a sickness. I can give you bigger stories. We don't have time, but there's a sickness in the industry. A guy walks into me, I got to sell him. He wants pink purple, I'll sell him. I'll do it. I lay myself on the floor like a rag, and I say, step on me, I'll sell you anything. I got to make the sale. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. If you want to be in the real diamond business, you got to respect your products. You got to respect yourself. You got to respect your profits, and you got to respect your customers too. But you cannot be customer everything. The diamonds, natural diamonds, are special, and they should be expensive. If you cheapen your diamonds, you don't deserve to be in this industry. Think about it. The celebratory dinner following the engagement should not cost more than the ring. I'm saying to you, $100 a carat. Somebody was telling me about a $2 million deal, finished beautiful 1 carat synthetics. Okay, it's $2 million at $50 a carat. I'm not saying that it's bad stuff. It's good stuff. It's wonderful stuff. I think Swarovski's crystals are wonderful. I think moissanite is nice. I think cubic zirconia is nice. I think everything's nice. It's all good. But is that the same thing? We have to hold our product high. We have to hold ourselves high, and we have to have respect. So if you want to be a successful diamond jeweler, stop selling price. If you're going to try to sell that like that, I believe, and that's just it, stop selling price. Insist on making a good profit. And that means you have to go out of business, go out of business. If you cannot have and that's how the diamond business always was. That's how side holders were. I remember when the 320 side holders. The side holder was someone who respected the diamond, felt really, it's diamantaire was the name. And those were people and they're still around, that really respect the product. And it's not all about price and meeting the customer and everything. It's about me. You want me to sell you? If you go to Harry Winston's store on Fifth Avenue, you know how heavy that door is? I once talked to Cheney, who was then in a buyout of Tiffany. You know, Tiffany almost went bankrupt a bunch of years ago. I talked to him. And he said, what made Tiffany Tiffany was that they put in a revolving round door. That wasn't done in the old days. If you wanted to buy a diamond, it was an experience, and you went into this heavy door, you were immediately intimidated, it was a different vibe. So I'm telling you guys, if you don't believe and respect your product, you don't deserve to be a diamantaire, and you should just get the hell out of this business. Straight and simple. Now, the first battle of market segmentation between natural and synthetic diamonds should be the diamond engagement ring market. Naturalists, that's a funny name, naturalists, should give up on trying to sell pricey shoppers. They should focus on customers who appreciate the emotional added value. They should appreciate customers who want to spend money and get more bang for their buck. When I say more bang for their buck, emotional bang, all kinds of other bangs, but that's what they want. If you don't have the right customer, what are you trying to do? Sell steak to vegetarians? And you say, I got a cheaper price for steak? What are you doing? So that's very important. Target your market. Know who you're selling. There should be, now this thing with diamond engagement rings, oh great, I'm talking, it's important more, 1/3 of the business, man. But what about fine jewelry? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with the tennis bracelets, the pendants, when synthetics come after us? So far, they've been so busy with the engagement ring market because they were making money hand over fist. So they were too busy. I was talking to this bright young woman in Botswana. I gave a presentation, and I said, I thought that fashion jewelry is going to go all to synthetics. But she said to me, and she corrected me, and she was right. She said, look, how much extra profit you make selling a synthetic than a natural? Peanuts. So, the big guys who used to be selling Bitcoin came into our industry because they're making so much money. They're leaving. They don't see the money. They're gone. So there's not big money to be made selling synthetic versus natural. There's money. So that doesn't pay for all these hustlers to come in there. In any case, we're going to have a real problem in the industry about the luxury sector. It's one of the reasons I'm going 20%. I think that we will win if we fight on the engagement ring market. But we're going to have to fight like hell to keep the tennis bracelet, what I call fine jewelry market. We got to get in there. Oh, marketing. You could talk about marketing De Beers, but De Beers used to have this group that would train jewelers all day long. I'm sorry that they could. DPS, Diamond Promotion Service, they should bring it back, because no matter what we tell the consumer, if we don't tell the jeweler, if we don't tell the diamond dealer, I'm talking about the U.S., and give them that strength of I'm selling something really valuable, the seller doesn't have the guts to really charge a price. They're the little price. No, that's not the future of the diamond industry. If you've got nothing to offer but a cheaper price, my advice to you is sell synthetics or go there. Leave the real diamond business. You're not one of us. I'm saying, if you don't respect the product, the only thing you can sell is price, you don't really belong in this more expensive natural diamond business, because the synthetics are going to take that market away from you. So you got to have the right mindset. Now, naturals who have money and want expensive jewelry. They should stop chasing every Tom, Dick, and Mary. Demand and desire for real diamond jewelry should be aspirational. I really want that. I really want that big, nice piece of jewelry. A special product like a real Birkin bag for $20,000. That's what who sells Birkin bags? You can't even get them. The guy takes a dinner out to an expensive restaurant. You know, in New York, I'm getting prices like, well, kosher is different. There's a lot to be learned about kosher restaurants, by the way. What is kosher and how can they charge and segmenting the markets? $200, $300, $400 for a person who dines. I was seeing something on TikTok the other day where they're talking about $5,000 for a special restaurant in New York, $5,000 a person. You can make a reservation, but you'll only get a reservation a year from now. What's going on? Hey, I can go to McDonald's. Why are they doing that? You ever stayed at a 7-star hotel? You know, I was thinking to make a reservation in Seychelles. I've got it seasonal out there. You know? So I looked at the season. Forget about it. I'm talking about things that cost between $3,000 to $4,000 a night. So who are these people? They're not trying to buy cheap. You think they really care if it's $2,000 or $3,000? Maybe they do, but you know, price warriors. I'm killing you. I want the price. I would say tell them to go to hell. But now I just say tell them to buy synthetics. That's what they want. You have guts, everybody. But we have a problem, a major problem. Real diamonds are seen as a dirty business. You know, the Wall Street Journal article said child labor. I don't think there's that much child labor. Well, there is child labor in a lot of countries. But you can buy legitimate diamonds where there's no child labor. I mean, she might feel that the cottage industry in Surah or in Gujarat, she might feel that a 16-year-old kid is working in an artisanal digging site so that his 14-year-old daughter doesn't become a prostitute. Is that child labor? I guess it is by California standards. And I'm not telling people what they have to do. But let's not be so sure to judge other people. But in any case, that was her perception. Natural diamonds, child labor. Boom. Now, in many instances, they are a dirty and deadly business. I'm telling you guys, you know, what KP does, stamping everything kosher, it's disgusting. It makes you want to throw up every day. We as a diamond industry, terrible, terrible. And our trade organizations support this kind of evilness. And I think that God does accounting. I believe in God, and I think God really does accountings. And yeah, I can't say that I even got the situation in Israel, whatever. But if bad stuff is happening to us, we should be very careful to see what we're doing. So anyways, the point is that we are not kosher, not all of us. So when you sell a diamond from an unknown source, it's a probability. I don't know. I was reading some stuff that said about 20% of the diamonds are artisanal. And when you talk to, and we're doing the Peace Diamond Village, we're Rapaport, I'm learning, I know I'm really getting into the artisanal diamond understanding of the business. My son lived in Sierra Leone even. We're doing all kinds of things. We understand it pretty well. You ask one of these guys, what's your biggest concern? What will I feed my children tonight? We're running a school in the Peace Diamond Village where we feed, well, that's the village, the whole neighborhood comes, 250 kids a day. They're coming for the food, not for the education. Children are hungry. And they're diamonds that we're getting in our supply chain with KP stamps here, KP stamps. Jesus, I got rabbis stamping ham sandwiches. Horrible. But anyways, we must not only differentiate between synthetic and natural diamonds, but also differentiate between good and bad diamonds, good and bad people. If diamonds are dirty, and there are dirty diamonds out there, they cannot be an aspirational luxury. And even if only some of the diamonds are dirty, if you can't differentiate them, all diamonds are seen as dirty. And that's why places like Tiffany, they're so religious about their supply chain and where their diamonds are coming from. They know that, they feel that. And people go to Tiffany. You can add value to diamonds by tracing them and knowing that they're coming from a good source. You can add value to rough diamond by polishing. You can add value to a rough diamond by tracing. And it's interesting because now we have this merging of these events of synthetics, know where it's coming from, also tells you if it's synthetic. You got a good tracing system, and you had to make sure that this polish came from this rough and this rough came from that mine, and you really had a good system, you wouldn't be selling, you wouldn't be that worried, you'd be solving the synthetic switching problem, which is interesting. So the same solution to two problems. Now, we cannot, now, so now we're on the sanctions. Okay. Let me stop and breathe for a second. I know we got a lot of questions. I'm an hour into this game, an hour and 7 minutes. Savile said, do it for 45 minutes. It's not going to happen, but I'll try to get as much as I can to you guys. We cannot and should not assume the sanctions issue is, I'm looking here. Yeah, I know I jumped too far. Okay. Russia's war against Ukraine has created a new situation whereby governments are now establishing regulations directly controlling the trade of diamonds. And they're not just looking at the supplier, they're looking at the goods themselves. And they are saying, if you want to import diamonds into the United States or these G7 countries, everything is guilty until proven innocent. Weird. Now, when they had general rules, anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist funding, that's been around for a while. But these are new regulations charged, directly to diamonds, directly to the diamond trade, directly to United States importers of diamonds. This is a very dangerous situation. Why? Because theoretically, governments want to kosher the diamond business. But in reality, all they want to do is to protect and promote their national self-interest. Everybody's in it for themselves. Everybody's trying to take advantage of the fact that there's a war in Russia where they're killing Ukrainians. This gives me a right or a way to screw around with these regulations and make more money. Whether it's U.S. appeasement of India. Do you think the president of the United States did not know when he said that diamonds that he didn't use diamond source, he used diamonds origin. He used the origin rule. I just wonder who in the United States State Department fed him that bullshit. But he knew it. And he did it because he needs to be friends with Modi, because Modi is controlling nuclear between us and India, and between us and China. Maybe he's right. Maybe the president is right. Make a phony baloney kind of a whitewashing executive order using the word origin, and that way I'll be friends with Modi and I can show the rest of the world that I am doing something. But really, it's not nice for the president of the United States to put out bullshit. Anyways, I love the president. I respect the president. And I think he knows what to do better than me. Okay, then you got the Belgians now in the latest, screw-a-rooney with this G7 baloney. It's not baloney, but this G7 thing. Oh, since there's a G7, now I can force all rough diamonds to come through Belgium. They're trying to claw back the rough trade from Dubai. Nah. Or G7 trying to punish Russia. Everybody's got something in it. They don't care that much about dead Ukrainians, or they do theoretically. Their first concern is, what about my country? Which it should be. The president of the United States is the president of the United States. He's not the president of the world. So one thing should be clear. Governments are political entities. They're not moral or ethical authorities. And I could take that to the 10th power if I'm going to talk about the United Nations. They do what they do. They do what's in their best interest, period. If you think the United States government is here to protect the diamond industry, you're nuts. We cannot and should not assume governments work in the best interest of the trade. It's not that they're evil or something, although some governments are. It's when their interests are aligned, even when their interests are aligned with the trade, the regulators make well-intentioned mistakes because they do not understand the diamond business. So let's say we all agree, our goal is to stop the stuff from Russia coming into the United States, even if it's polished, you got to trace it and all that. Well, okay, but we all agree. But now they come in with these regulations. And they come in with timelines. They're nice people. They don't know what they're doing. They're not diamond people. And then they bring in their experts. It's bullshit. Okay? So you got to be careful here, because we got an elephant in our China shop. A nice elephant. A lovely elephant. We've even shown the elephant that there's a way to walk in the shop that you're not going to break too much China. But it's still a dangerous situation. It is the responsibility of trade organizations to honestly communicate with regulators to ensure effective and efficient regulations. Effective means that it works, not whitewashing, which is big danger. I'll give you the, what do they call it? Not source, they called it origin. The origin is a typical example of where governments make ineffective regulations and efficient regulations that can actually be implemented. I strongly believe that we should not be importing Russian diamonds, polished diamonds, Russian sources into the United States. Fine, I agree. But how do you communicate? So unfortunately, and I tell you, there's a lot of people trying to do good stuff, but unfortunately, our trade organizations are having difficulty communicating with government. Part of the problem is that the trade organizations themselves are often conflicted to the self-interest of their members. This guy's selling goods from Alrosa, and he has a good business, and now you want to take that away from him. He's pissed off. He wants to make money another way. This guy's in Dubai, and he's at the MCC, and he wants to make money that way. It's a very complicated story, the sanctions system, well beyond the scope of this conversation. But we'll talk about it. A major problem is that almost all trade organizations base their position on a very bad foundation. Kimberley process. Kimberley process is certifying blood diamonds, and the first of the Kimberley is run by a collection of good and bad governments. It's like the United Nations. Saudi Arabia was the head of the, I don't know, it wasn't Saudi. Somebody with, like, not known for the great human rights. No, Iran is the head of the United States Human Rights Council. Why? Because it's a political organization. So you got these people in the Kimberley process. That of the Kimberley process was Zimbabwe, which actually has sanctions by the U.S. government. The State Department fights there should be sanctions, and then the State Department votes for them. It's just weird, this politics. But we have a problem with our trade organization because everything's built on this WDC supporting the Kimberley process. And then all these organizations, RJC, WTB, IDMA, USGC, AJA, AGSA, all of them are in this. The JA belongs to the USJC, United States Jury Council. The United States Jury Council belongs to the WDC. And the WC is tied into the KP. Hard for them to fight with it. So our trades government relations is a house of cards built on an unethical KB foundation. And then they certify Russian diamonds. And you say, you shouldn't bring diamonds to the United States. But according to the Clean Diamond Act and the Kimberley process, you can. It's a mess. So our communications aren't that great. So what should we do? The position of the Rapaport group is to focus on the U.S. market for polished diamonds. It's not that I don't care about India. It's not that I don't care about even, I don't know, certainly I care about Botswana. But I am thinking, how can I do something? How can I fix something? How can I relate? How can I take this mess? U.S. regulations can, should, and will dominate the polished diamond, I'd say diamond trade regulations. The U.S. imports over 50% of the world's polished diamonds. Who the hell is anyone? India, Belgium, who are they to tell us how we should run our business in the United States and what we should do? They're going to control us? It's not that we don't recognize that there are other organizations and countries with their own legitimate or illegitimate interests. They are. And some of them people are very good and the power to implement their own regulations. Botswana can do what they do. Okay, they might say, well, you have to be part of the G7 and we're not going to allow your diamonds to go to the United States until you send your rough to Belgium. No, that's not the way to work. But it's what we believe. It's that we believe that since U.S. funds the diamond trade, it's our responsibility to use our market power, which is bigger and better than anybody else, to control the legitimacy of the United States diamond trade. Another way to look at it is the golden rule. And there's two golden rules. One golden rule is treat your neighbor as you want yourself to be treated. And I do believe in that. And the other golden rule is that he who has the gold rules. And it's not a joke. If you spend money on Zimbabwean diamonds, and Zimbabwean diamond people were tortured because of the money you spend in them, you have blood on your hands, buddy. If you spend your money and you give it to an organization that supports Hamas, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to deal with you. Go to hell. You are responsible how you spend your money. And I think that Gen Z and millennials understand that. And that's why they say we want to make sure that when we spend our money, it's not going for child labor or things that we don't believe in. Furthermore, aside from the fact that Rapaport is a U.S. entity subject to U.S. regulations, everywhere in the world we operate with U.S. rules, we believe it is in the best interest of the entire diamond trade to prioritize the interests of diamond buyers over diamond suppliers. If we lose our customers, there's not going to be a business here for anyone. We could lose it to synthetics. All you need is a couple of really juicy articles showing the Kimberley process certificate from the CAR and then showing a bunch of dead bodies. That's all you need. So we have to segment out what we're doing. There's always going to be evil, but we have to be good, and you just have to separate out. So let me make it clear. Given what is going on with synthetics and sanctions, there is real danger that the diamond business, the natural diamond business, will deteriorate. I hate to say this, but it's true. We're real danger. I think greater danger now than we were even in 1980 when diamond prices were crashing, because that was just prices. It's now the ethics, the morality of our product that's crashing. All right, so what do we do about it? I'm focusing on the U.S. market. So what I did was I created this thing called the Rapaport U.S. Diamond Protocol. And the Rapaport U.S. Diamond Protocol is for the government, for the regulators, for the administrators, and also for Congress if these guys don't listen. We want to set guidelines for the implementation of regulations governing the U.S. importation and trade of diamonds within the U.S. I can't solve the world's problems. America, with a 53% of demand of diamonds, I want to solve our American problems. And if we solve our problems, other problems will also fall. Our primary goal is to ensure government sanctioned regulations do not unnecessarily harm our U.S. diamond and jewelry trade. I got to feed the elephant. I got to hug the elephant. I got to sit on the elephant's trunk. I have to hope the elephant doesn't step on me. And all of this while we're in a China show. That's what I did on this thing. So a key feature of the U.S. Diamond Protocol is that once diamonds have been imported into the United States, they import, or they're already in the United States, state jewelry, whatever, there are no restrictions on the trade. Don't you people anywhere in the world tell us how to trade diamonds in the United States. Not acceptable. With all due respect to the EU and to the Belgians and everybody else. Furthermore, U.S. government-approved blockchain technology should be used to comply with President Biden's December 22, 23 executive order, which says the Secretary of Homeland Security, with the concurrence of the Secretary of Treasury, shall prescribe rules and regulations to collect, including through an auth. I say collect. That means he means to bring in diamonds. Oh, to collect the information, to collect information, including through an unauthorized electronic data interchange system. They're talking about blockchain verification of the source of diamonds. So I dealt with that. What did I say? All diamonds in the United States require the following declaration. First, you got to say what it is. Put your head in the noose. To the best of my knowledge, the diamonds being imported have not been sourced from any U.S. sanctioned entity. And I'm not buying this thing, only Russia. So if they kill people in CAR, that's okay. White people, you kill the Ukrainians, it's a political game with Russia, but other people, I have that argument with the government regulators if I ever get to meet them. Now, this idea that we make a declarative statement says, I'm making a statement to U.S. Customs. And they should be in charge. U.S. Customs should be in charge. It's another thing, if you want to go and you want to put in a tracing capability, then you have a system here that says basically it's the blockchain. And I am a big supporter of Tracer. I'm not into this exclusive. We believe in competition. So Tracer, I like what how do you call it? Sarin is doing fantastic work. There's a lot of good people doing good things. And we're going to quote them in RapNet. We're going to make a Green Star program. We're going to show this diamond is a known source. The other thing is that there should never be any restrictions on the trade of diamonds in the United States. No way, no how. And if yes, I'm ready to go to court. I'm ready to file a complaint with the Justice Department and the FTC, and even do a class action lawsuit about anybody that tries to give us restrictions against the trading of the diamonds in the United States, because I'm concerned that big companies come along and they put in all this compliance crap, compliance stuff their way, and then a normal jeweler can never do it. They just throw enough paper at the guy, he goes out of business. Less jewelers, less independent jewelers, less competition, restraint of trade. So anyways, don't have a lot of time. I'm not going into this, but I just want you guys to understand where my head is. Now, let's see where we are. Now, there is concern that the supply of diamonds available to small and medium-sized companies may be unfairly restricted due to new government sanctioned regulations. So if I'm a lobbyist in Washington and I want to put in all kinds of regulations that make it hard for small independent jewelers to survive, it's in my benefit. Now, I like what De Beers is doing in many ways. And we're very grateful to De Beers. And I'm very happy to see this picture of the CEO of De Beers and the CEO of Signet smiling together. I think it's good. And especially since they have a worthy and vital mission to communicate all the good things that diamonds do as well. So it's wonderful. But I am saying, please, when you guys do your deals, don't crowd out the small guys. Don't set it up so all the kosher diamonds, or a lot of the kosher diamonds, or so much of the kosher diamonds go to Signet and other big guys, typically with brands, that the regular little guy that our business is built on, that ensures free market competition, they're crowded out. They can't find the goods. They can't get the goods. It's not a question of price. They're just not part of this exclusive relationship. So you have to be careful there. And I'm asking nicely, I'm pleading, okay? Please make sure whatever deals you do not restrict the supply of kosher diamonds to small people, medium people. And I think they really are responsible. And I think, excuse me, that there's a good chance that they will be that way. And someone's got to communicate to them. And I think they're good people. You know, I'm telling you, De Beers is doing some great things. God's work in the case of Gem Fair. So, you know, we got to talk. We got to talk with them. They got to make sure they know. Now, if they do, that'll become an antitrust issue. But I'm just saying, look, let's make sure that we can all survive in the new environment. So we're at the conclusions. Are there conclusions? Yes. The current situation is dangerous. You're witnessing a perfect storm driven by synthetics and sanctions together. A fundamental restructure, irrevocable impact. You're going to see changes now that you can't go back, like government regulations and laws and stuff. The diamond trade must take forceful, proactive measures to ensure its future. We can't just sit down and say, And we have to think about the way. Oh, by the way, I missed something which is very important. I am asking everybody. Well, I'm going to ask you in a minute. Please, personally, do me a favor. Support this Rapaport U.S. Diamond Protocol. That I want to work together with the government. I need support. So far, we have something like 700. It's funny because I didn't see that screen. I must have jumped over it. Yeah, here it is. No, it's not. Well, doesn't matter. We have about exactly. As I'm going into this, we have 780 people that have already supported the United States Diamond Protocol. So when I go to Washington, I can say, hey, guys, we have this. And we're planning a whole campaign around this. So please, just go to rapaport.com/sanctions, fill out the thing, check the box, and be on record as saying, I support the U.S. diamond sanctions. Please do that. I'm begging you. Anyways, moving forward here. So we got to wake up to the dangers we face. How we'll solve them? I have ways. Other people have better ways. The market for natural and synthetic diamonds is bifurcated. Synthetics will take significant market share from natural diamonds because there's a lot of people that are price conscious. And that's what they want. They want a diamond that doesn't cost a lot of money. And they're entitled to it. It's a legitimate product, especially when it gets so cheap that you're not selling something to someone that the prices keep declining. But at tens of dollars a carat, it's a wonderful product. Let them go. Swarovski is a wonderful company, okay? And what they've been doing for all these years is wonderful, okay? So synthetics, I would argue, okay, synthetics produced from solar energy are a more ethical product than diamonds from unknown sources. If you offer me 2 diamonds to buy my wife, and one is a synthetic from solar energy, and the other one is something I don't know where it came from, Martin Rapaport, will buy. If that's my only choice, I will buy the synthetic. Yes, ad kedei kach. Because I know that this is a diamond that has done no harm. You know, it's just very important. And there's certainly other people who do the same thing. So we have to have diamonds from known sources, everybody. And the government is also telling us you have to have diamonds from known sources. All right. The diamond trade must get its ethical act together to attract new Gen Z and millennial consumers. Implementation of U.S. sanctions can help ensure ethical sourcing of diamonds. So by complying with the United States sanction regulations, assuming they're written rationally, yeah, kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Natural diamonds are a conspicuous consumption product. Get it through your heads, everybody. Stop screwing around with prices. What do you add value? You're cheaper in price? Go away. If marketed properly, high prices should increase demand and sales. Look at the brands. What are the brands doing? High jewelry brands prove this every day. They charge more, and the more they charge, the longer the line is to buy their products. And we're running around like little worms here trying, it's cheaper, cheap. Stop that. We must concentrate on creating and capturing emotional added value. That's what our business is about. And it means we sell less diamonds and make more profit, fine. Our goal is not to sell everybody everything. Our goal is to be true diamanteurs who stand by our product and hold it high. And when I say hold it high, I mean high prices. Natural diamonds cannot compete with synthetic diamonds in price. You've lost the war. U.S. retailers and polished diamonds should not be afraid to charge high prices for natural diamonds. Okay, got that? The threat of government sanctions is real and urgent. Because they want to do things, you'll see. If you read some of the stuff that's put out by the G7, they expect by March 1, every polished diamond coming to the United States, we're going to know which mine it came from. The regulators. They're not just elephants. They're 10 elephants, actually 7 elephants in our China shop. Right? The judges support the Rapaport U.S. Diamond by registering at rapaport.com sanctions. 780 members of the trade have already done so as of this morning. I am begging you, go there, Check the damn box. If you don't believe me, if you don't think we're doing it right, read the darn thing. It's right there on the page. If you don't agree, don't sign. But if you can agree with it, if you think I know what I'm talking about, if you think we can actually affect how the regulators do things, I intend to take that, go to Washington, say, we got all these people supporting this, and everyone, we got quite a few thousands of members in the United States. Every one of them's got a congressman and a senator. And we've got software that will allow them to contact those people. I mean, if we get bad sanctions, it's my intention to raise hell. And so hopefully we won't have bad sanctions because we're going to spend effort to do it. We must focus our efforts on U.S. sanctions regulations impacting the U.S. market for polished diamonds. Oh, sanctions, they're writing regulations and they're meeting in Botswana, and they're meeting in Belgium, and they're meeting in Surat, and they're bumbling around the world. Listen, it's a nice world. I love it. I'm interested in the United States, and I'm interested in polished diamonds. That's my area of interest. Okay. Obviously, bad sanctions can hurt people. There should not be any U.S. sanctions compliance regulations for diamonds already in the United States. Don't shut down my estate jewelry market. Don't come up with all kinds of bullshit regulations that are meaningless. Okay? Once it's in the U.S., that's it. Go away. If you don't go away, even I trust the administration, great. I want to go to Congress. It's an election year. No, I will not accept any regulations for priming transactions within the United States. Let customs do their job. Don't hit me with all kinds of compliance impossibilities. Sanction regulations should not inhibit the trade in recycled diamonds or pre-owned jewelry. There is concern that the supply of kosher diamonds, which are diamonds that you can import into the United States, suitable for the United States, will be restricted and not available to small and medium-sized U.S. companies. And they have to be unfairly restricted. So in other words, what can happen is you can get a deal between, and I'm not saying they would do this, company X, which is a mining company, and U.S. retailer Y, and it's an exclusive deal, and no one can get these kosher diamonds. That would be a problem. And I already mentioned that I love the fact that Signet is talking. I asked them, please take into consideration the little people which make up our market. Let's see, guidelines. I said this already. Okay. We urge you to communicate your questions, thoughts, ideas, and suggestions by emailing martin@rapaport.com. I've been getting more active on LinkedIn, especially controversial subjects like sanctions. And I don't know, I put something on LinkedIn and it gets all over. So come to the LinkedIn thing. I also am going to be taking a lot of positions about Israel. I must say Rapaport stands with Israel, not even a question. I live there. And so, with all due respect to everybody else, I am very much interested in that, but I'm using Mike Rapaport, not Martin Rapaport, because I don't want to flood all my political beliefs and everything. I'm not afraid of them. I stand tall and proud, not only as a diamantaire, I stand tall and proud as a Jew. You don't want to work with me? No problem. Okay? I am who I am, and I'm proud of it. Anyways, I'm just mentioning the LinkedIn thing, Martin Rapaport. You can go there. I want discussion. We're going to start cooking up things. Martin is presenting the USJGT. I'm looking at color. I want to learn from color. They have a lot of experience with synthetics, and it's a great market. And we are a member of the U.S. Of the American Gem Trade Association, and we're now also working with natural pearls and stuff. We have all kinds of government of Bahrain. I'll also be presenting at the Young Presidents Association in Mumbai on February 22nd. I think it's a closed meeting, but the focus will be there on synthetic diamonds. And listen, we're going to be putting out a lot more information. We're also going to try to figure out how to monetize and capture the value for all this information. But Rapaport.com webinars is a place to go to see, okay, what are you up to, Rapaport? What are you doing? So thank you for participating. Look at me. I'm exactly an hour and a half when Savile told me to be 45 minutes. So let's take a breath for a second. I don't know how many people are still on. Well, we've got 882,
870 people.
What?
870 people on now.
All right. What was our peak?
You want me to say?
Yeah.
We are close to 1,300.
All right. So we spent that extra money to make sure it's over 1,000. It's fine. Okay. Now, I think I see Aaliyah's on here. And one of the first questions. I listen. So first of all, if anyone you're going to leave, but I do think the questions are important for people, so I will answer them. But no one is forced at any time to stick around. I will tell you, you're lucky you came here because redistribution of this is not going to go to people who are not members of Rapaport. And we're probably going to charge money to other people who want to come in, but we're going to be charging money for a lot of this information and stuff that we do. Okay. So I know Leah's been nudging me here. You want to go through some of the questions? With 50% of production, I don't want to do every question. There are a lot of them. But I do want to give respect to Aaliyah because she's been nudging me like crazy. She raised her hand and I know her and she's got, 40,000 jewelers that are listening to her. I can allow you to talk. Aaliyah, you want to talk? Are you able to talk, or did you give us a question? I'm clicking on allow to talk.
No,
Aaliyah,
that's no, no, let somebody else go.
all right. I didn't think you were so shy. Okay, so we're going to run to the first question, and we'll start to run through them. With 50% cut down production, manufacturing, India there is great demand in polish. What do you think? I love it because people want to buy polished diamonds. Not everybody is some kind of a price schnorrer. People want to buy good stuff. Yeah, so I love it. As a matter of fact, if it's 50% less production, maybe prices will go up. Lab grown will not go away, so we have to adapt. Yes, I'm not fighting the inevitable. I love synthetic diamonds, especially synthetic diamonds made from solar energy. And go ahead, go make your profits. Do what you want. I think it's a lot easier to make profit in something that costs you $50 or $10 a carat than it is something that costs you $15,000 a carat. So go do. I was never against Swarovski. I love them. In fact, I go there a lot of times to see their designs. So no, I'm not against synthetics. Is there any possibility of pressuring the FDA to reverse the ruling? No, I don't think the cat's out of the bag. I don't think we should. I believe one of the core values of Rapaport is competition. If competition forces us to know where our diamonds come from, I love you, synthetics. You're forcing the diamond industry to respond to the ethical questions that we've been screwing around with like idiots with this Kimberley process. Okay, so it's fine. Good, keep them. I love it, synthetic diamonds. I'm not going to stop lab-grown diamonds. What you got? You know how you stop lab-grown diamonds? You do a better job, and you go after what I call emotional. What did I call it? Emotional added value. That's what you got to sell. If you're selling steak to vegetarians, sell salad. I don't know. Sell something else that vegetarians can eat. Do you know the direct manufacturing cost to create a 1 carat diamond? I do know it offhand. We actually had a presentation. Okay, do around $30 to $40. Depends what. If you have a 5 carat D flows triple X, it'll cost you $100 more, but it's a lot cheaper. I think it's about a lot cheaper. Yeah, I'm telling you, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5 cheaper. Not to mention, you also got him in Vietnam. Manufacturing is a whole Torah, but I will tell my team that we should start writing something about this. If industry leaders knew this would happen in the lab-created diamonds, why have someone spoken to millions? We did. I suggest you read my letter in January of last year where I was blamed for being erratic, crazy, what do they call me, blah-blahing, whatever it is. Yeah, we knew about it, and I've been warning about it. But the truth is that it's not bad to have synthetic diamonds. It's not bad to have competition. What we should do is protect our. I never thought we would lose the extent of the wedding market, the engagement ring market like we have. There was so much profit there that everybody had profit. They spent marketing. That is a shame, but I think we're going to get it back. I'm not really worried long term about the diamond engagement ring market because it's going to segment. Maybe 40% will go to that, but the other 60% are going to really want our nice diamonds. So I have a smaller market. So what? Not going to end the world. There was a time Dubai didn't exist. There were times rich Russians or rich, I don't know, Chinese didn't exist. Who thought to sell China 20 years ago, right? I don't think you're going to sell them so fast. Good luck selling diamonds to communists, but we'll deal with that. But I just want to say to you that things are happening. The problem now is that when you have these lab-grown diamonds taking away 30% of diamond demand and your revenue is going down, that's an issue. You need to separate. Step away. 2 questions. Huge variation in the fancy shape market in terms of pricing. Yes, there are. So how will you take that into account when deciding to change the wrap price in that? Okay, we just quote what's there. I don't take much into account like you might think. We have a team of pricing experts, and they listen, they work, and they see. We tell you what price we can put a diamond on the table, essentially. Do you think the wrap correction we expect will? No, I'm not necessarily correct. I'm looking at polished. And I'm looking at polished in the United States pretty much. So, we know that prices are cheaper in India. We know that there's different winds blowing in different sections of the world. But we look at the prices. I could put a diamond on the table in New York. That's really key. And I'm not going to go down so fast. I don't know. Again, we wrote articles. Some people say, hey, Rapaport, just because the Bears job price is 10% is nonsense. They've been overcharging by 20%. The question is, what's the added value of their guarantee to supply diamonds on a consistent basis? How much more are those diamonds worth? So let's assume they were charging, I don't know, 25% above the auction market, and other people are auctioning diamonds. And now no one was buying their stuff because it wasn't worth it to them. So it's nice to get diamonds on a regular basis, but I'm not paying that much. And now they said, okay, I got to drop prices. So the guys are arguing that the Bears prices are still higher than auction price. So, it's like I come to you, I'll sell you an an HVS2 for $10,000. So what are you, crazy? It's worth $3,000. So you know what? No, I'm going to drop my price. I'll send it to you for $5,000. You still, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm not so freaked out by the rough correction. When we are going to fix the Kimberly, when are we okay? That customer fears are addressed. This is documented that they are mistreating employees and residents of this. The trade under the KP. I believe the KP is sort of the mother of evil. Not because the people aren't well-intentioned. They're nice people, but what the hell are you dancing with prostitutes? What are you dancing with companies? What are you making a person who's in the sanctions or the government on the sanctions list as your head of your Kimberly process? Okay? And I agree with you. So get away from the Kimberly process. I do have a plan to actually change the Clean Diamond Act. And if anybody wants to see what I think about the Clean Diamond Act or what I think about ethics of what the United States should do, just type Martin Rapaport congressional record. It goes back to 2000, and when they introduced the Clean Diamond Act, they read my article called Guilt Trip, which I had written right after I had been to Sierra Leone in the middle of the war. I saw dead bodies. I was in the amputee camps. I wrote about it, and that was actually put into the congressional record. So yeah, I'm going to be pushing for a new Clean Diamond Act. And I ask anybody here who really is engaged with the things I'm trying to do, send me an email, martin@rapaport.com. We had a team looking at that. So I need help. How? I need help. Okay. So we really want to do things politically here to change the Clean Diamond. Okay. So did they become a side holder? No, don't become a side holder. I don't advise it unless you really have customers. Okay. Let me just go up. October 20. I can't talk about that in this call. I'm out of time, but send me an email. And I am telling you, I'm going to start publishing on Mike Rapaport, not Martin. I'm going to be talking a lot about that. You want to start your own diamonds, which is better? Okay, it depends where you can make money, who your customers are. Should you go to LGD or natural? I'm going to natural, but it's a longer hoe. Okay, LGD prices are dropping. So, do you want to sell Swarovski kind of stuff? Do you want to? Why don't you try selling synthetic emeralds and rubies and sapphires and see how that goes before you go into the LGD? LGD is now moving. Oh, I can do this. Okay. You can't stop lab growing. You should encourage it. It's okay. Let them take away all the bullshit customers. Pressuring if you see. I gotta go down over here. Okay. Okay. Let me see where we are here. 2 questions I took care of. Rosa Torres. That's a very nice name. Don't know. You want to become a site holder? Don't become a site holder. I would not advise that at this stage. Diamond business, no. 2 month Indian return. That was great. I must give credit to the GJPC and our Indian friends. A lot of times we think these Indian manufacturers are not responsible. They overload the diamond market with goods, which causes prices to go down. And now they took the right decision, and I think it worked, and I think it was good. It was a lesson to De Beers. It was a lesson to the workers. A lesson to everybody that, hey, don't overload the market with goods. Now I hope, because the prices come down, they don't go crazy again. We'll see, but that was very responsible. De Beers is the company, the mining company that sells diamonds. And the biggest diamond supplier for ethical diamonds are, of course, now are diamonds that can be imported in the United States. I don't know when prices are going to increase. It depends on demand, but I think prices will decrease if we have a lot of jewelers that know how to sell them for higher prices, and we have less diamonds. We're not sharing any recordings. We're going to write an article probably. How to say to a consumer if he has difference of synthetic and natural diamonds makes diamonds look better without lying. Never lie. That's number one. Never, ever lie. Tell them the truth. Say this is a natural product. It's a lot more expensive. How does a 7-star restaurant say to their people, say, but I could eat at McDonald's? Tell them. You want to eat at McDonald's? You want something special? Come to me. You want to just buy whatever? Go wherever. You want to get married? Maybe you want to have a one-night stand with a Tinder ring. I don't know. Depends what you want. But if you're serious and you want to give something, you want to give. You understand. The beauty of diamonds is the pleasure is not just in the receiving. The pleasure is in the giving. When I gave my wife her diamond, and it was an H Floss, because the diamond was very expensive and I didn't have much money, I was so proud. I was proud. I showed her I loved her. I want to express my love. So the guy, really good guys, they love to give. The consumer feels the diamond is a very good product. It is, and also cheap. It is. So they don't have to even think about something that is expensive. Yeah, ask them if they have dinner at McDonald's every day. In your opinion, what qualifies making diamond truly special and stand out from the rest? Well, first of all, natural diamond does it. Second thing is the GI certificate does. And then the intentions of the giver and the receiver. Do you know women look at the diamond every day? Our research tells us the women physically look at the diamond and they think about the diamond and the guy. So what is it? What's the value? What's the price? Think about that. She's got the diamond for 30 years, 30 times 365. And so how much is that? If she spends $5,000 in the diamond, how much is that per day for that little bit of enjoyment or that little bit of pleasure the woman has when she looks at the diamond? It's a gift of commitment. She's thinking commitment. It's not just about the diamond. She's got a guy. She's someone who loves her. Someone to stand with her. That's there. In your opinion, what qualifies as a diamond truly? That's it. The intentions of the gifter. What's the agenda of your price increase? I have no agenda in price increase. Oh, inscriptions? Yeah. Listen, guys. I told people to be proud of diamonds. I'm proud of Rapaport. We're spending a lot of money to do what we do, and we're not going to pay less money to our employees than a fair price because some diamond guys out there are trying to, I need to save $50. Go away. Go get some other prices. So we're going to increase prices reasonably, fairly. But if you can't afford Rapaport, if you're a nice person, I don't know, do something else. Get another prices, okay? We are a premium company with premium product, with premium people. We pay our people right. We give bonuses for inflation. We do things correctly. And that's the way our business is. And, we're not gouging, we're not making zillions of dollars, but that's about the prices. Is it adding value to everyone in the business? Not everyone, but those people who subscribe, I imagine, or else why would they give you the money? We're not going to decrease prices, I don't imagine, not in the inflationary environment. No, absolutely not. Probably we're going to increase prices. We're not doing it right now, but we are going to increase prices. And we're also going to be charging for things like this kind of webinar where I'm really sharing more brains and stuff. Would you comment on the statement that in 50 years or so, natural diamonds will be highly priced and desired? Aesthetics will have little value, just synthetics absolutely in value. Now, absolutely, I agree with that statement 100%. Not 50 years, 5 years. Now you're not 5 years, 2 years. If you're a quarterback and you're on the natural diamond team and you stand around like an idiot, don't blame the other linebackers for, coming after you and burying you, killing you. Pass or run, baby. Pass or run. Don't stand around like a, what. Respectfully, this would be so much more impactful if you had made. You're right. The rants, I understand. Maybe people don't like my rants. That's the comments. I am who I am. I think we will try to make shorter things a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of YouTubes, and I'm going to be breaking the things down. But I don't know how I could have covered all these subjects today without, the time that I need. We will try to put this up on our website, and you will be able to then see sections of this. So we'll break it down into chapters so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. And rants are me. I'm Martin, the ranter, Rapaport. If you consider how I talk or what I say as a rant, I'm 72 years old, I guess 2 weeks ago or something, not even. I am what I am. I don't think you can teach an old dog like me too many new tricks, but we are hiring new people. Sonia and guys working and Joshua Freeman. We got great people working for us who are not ranters, so you can listen to them. You want to actually have more sophisticated. I don't know where I want to attract. I don't know who these sophisticated players are, and we have to clean these types of presidents to make them work. Okay, I will try to clean it up. Savile is working with me on this, and he's telling me that I should do this and that. I say that with almost. I know you respect me. I still got to even have my credit folks from the bank on the coil. Could be, be transparent. This is how I run my life. I spoke once to a bunch of intelligence agencies in The Hague. All the people, spies, a lot of people didn't have name cards. They didn't have anything. So I said to them, I said, listen, if you can run your life so that you can tell your wife and the IRS everything you're doing, that's the goal. That's what I want. You can sleep at night. It may not be such an exciting life, but that's my values. So I don't tell your banker everything. What are you afraid of? I'm so glad I didn't have my credit folks in Atlanta. Please reach out if you want to better understand. Okay, we are going to reach out. Someone's calling me now. I know they want me to get off this thing, but I can't do that right now. I don't know what. Just give me a second. Here we go. Okay, that went. So, Michael, talk to me. I'm very interested in talking to you and learning from you. Listen, I don't know everything, and I'm sure there's better ways to do things. And I'm also going to be retiring sometime. So, yeah, let's get ready to do things in a way that more people are happy. Okay. And I am going to reach out to you. Joshua, make sure I reach out to you. In selecting the diamond for a piece of jewelry, what characteristics do you think are critical in ensuring it complements of this I don't know enough about? Speak to Sonia. Sonia works for us. She's the editor-in-chief. She is a genius on design and stuff. Send this person back something, talk to Sonia. What is the timeline of blockchain? I think blockchain is there. Like I said, I support Tracer. The governments don't understand the diamond business, think they can do it by March 1, but it's a game. Governments, they push this, they push that. Supposedly, everything was going to be solved 10 years ago. But I think it's there already, and I think it's going to start with larger stones. And I think GI certs are going to start. I think there's ways that we can do things. So some things are going to happen. Okay. And shipping internationally, I'm hoping that the regulations will say if you have a diamond in the United States, it's kosher. Take a kosher diamond and you send it out of America, you should be able to bring the kosher diamond back into it. How long will synthetic diamonds last? It'll last forever, like Swarovski. And it's why now I didn't talk about that. That I'm going to talk about when I'm in Mumbai. But there is a huge benefit to industrial synthetic diamonds used as computer chips. Can't go into that now, but that's amazing. It's good. Advice: how do you think in debate like lab-grown diamonds and blockchain verification will influence official? Everything's going to be blockchain. And what changes might we consider consumer preferences and trust? Blockchain is going to increase consumer preference trust by tracing diamond. And so the issues that we have, the problems that we have are going to go away by technology doing that. And I think that's going to be great. And you're also going to see consumers using artificial intelligence to select the diamonds they want. With the increasing emphasis on sustainability and environmentalism, how do you foresee the diamond industry adapting to meet these needs? Like I said, traceability. I think that if sanctions are put in correctly, it's going to force, like I said, it's like everything's guilty until proven innocent, which means we're going to have a lot of innocent proofing going on. Ethical and ethical companies play in shaping a lot. People watch the money. They buy what they want to buy. And what they want to buy is a kosher diamond. Your product looks realistic, however, you are asking for USBN requiring. No, the USBN is put out by the tracer, by the blockchain. Okay? And they control us. The mining company doesn't control. The diamond factory will show up the mining. They're asking, I'm not asking for any tracing. All I'm asking is US Customs controls what comes into our country. And that's their game. And they're in charge of doing a USBIN. There's no USBN. We don't know where the diamond comes from. You won't import to the United States. Has any diamonds been discovered in space? I don't know, although they just said there's a planet. Do you think marketable natural diamonds should be higher or lower? Higher. Oh, definitely higher. The lab growns? No, I should say this. They're different products. In general, I think that natural diamonds have to have a bigger margin. Bigger than lab grown? I don't think so. I think Swarovski probably makes a much higher profit margin than others. Tiffany makes a higher profit margin than Joe the jeweler. So, it depends what you're offering, what you're selling. But you should make money. If you're not making money and you're just treading water, get out of the business. How long does a dealer have to sit on non-kosher diamonds for? He can have to wait to trace diamonds. No. Again, I'm arguing that anything in the United States, sell it. It should be kosher. It should be fine. If it's outside of the United States, I don't know. I wouldn't buy non-kosher diamonds coming from outside the United States. But it's not just how long. I mean, you might say a woman comes in and she's got an estate piece of jewelry from Winston, okay, from 30 years ago. Bingo. You should be able to trade it. But I can't buy it, can't sell that diamond. Ridiculous. You don't have a question, Aaliyah. Sweet. By the way, I love Aaliyah, everybody. She has a great website for jewelers. And I don't know, she controls who gets in there. And anyways, she's a good friend. I mean, in terms of timeline, should I stop buying inventory now? No, don't. Well, I don't know. That's an excellent question. I'm going to put this question to our wonderful government regulators. This is an excellent. Could you please remind me later to contact Ben Brown and to get him to sign off on our thing and maybe to bring his question to his local congressman? What should you do, though? I would try to buy from Americans. Don't import. Okay? That's what I would do. Don't import. If you are a buyer from there, then I would insist on getting a responsible verification from the supplier that these diamonds, you find out exactly where the diamonds were mined. That's what I would do. And I think there'll be some grandfathering anyway, so I would continue doing business. Let someone else go. What is your prediction of the bottoming out of the? I think that the natural diamond market is pretty much bottoming now, but I don't know what to happen with synthetics. If synthetics still take away the good jewelry business, the fine jewelry business with the tennis bracelets, that's the next war, and that's going to be one hell of a battle, and that can hurt us. So I don't know. Oh, the solar energy, it's got to be certified. The solar energy, we got to find out. You got to know the name of the company. You got to find out who are making your diamonds and where your diamonds are coming from. There's a couple of solar energy companies. One company has got into financial trouble in Israel. There's another country there. But one of the things I'm going to be doing when I go to India is looking into this issue. And maybe we'll put out some names and maybe they'll list on Rapaport. Diamonds require big spend and rethink a new company that will capture younger buyers of diamonds forever. That could be. Look, the Bears are spending $50 million a year with the National Diamond Council. I'm thinking of, it doesn't, you can't just throw money and make things happen. So we really have to think, and everybody should be thinking about this. Aaliyah sent me something about now one-liners that the Natural Diamond Council gave it. Everybody come up with one-liners, I don't know how many more than yet. But I would say that one of my one-liners, I forgot what it was, but, We should be selling, I forgot it. Not a question. The common diamonds should require big spend. I saw that. Synthetic diamonds from hydropower. Good. Fine. Yeah, I think hydropower is good. Ask your customers. Why would you promote solar energy created lab-grown diamonds when there was no way to determine mechanism of origin of energy is such that I'm talking about my son happens to be a mathematician, believe it or not, an engineer from University of Colorado Boulder, which is big on that. He is now working in the desert, the Negev desert in Israel, on some of the largest. He's actually living in the desert on some of the largest solar energy projects out there. So I pretty much am sure that the solar energy is making the equipment, the solar panels. Maybe you can argue that it's a hell of a good way to get an ethical diamond. It may be rampantly exploited. Yeah, it'll be exploited. People will lie to you. People lie to you where they made the diamond. People lie to you about everything. We have to check that people are not lying to us. Just like they would lie to you if it's CZ. Okay. When you compare lab-grown and natural diamonds using the example of a Toyota versus a Mercedes, the premise was wrong in my eyes because a Toyota is a completely different product from Mercedes, not just a cheaper alternative. Lab-grown diamonds are the exact same thing as not really. The market, if you really analyze it, between Toyota and Mercedes is being competed by Uber. So what you're really thinking about, how do I get from point A to point B? The guy is thinking, how do I marry this girl? So if you transcend the product itself to the reason behind or the dream behind the product, then it's the same. Point A to point B. The problem I'm finding is that retailers love lab. They should love lab. They're making a fortune now. They're making so much money. How can we get the retailers to want to sell natural again? They got to get the customers. They don't want to make the effort to sell the high end, because there. But when the diamonds go to $20 or $50, and you get a 5-carat diamond, there's an article in the Wall Street Journal about it. It's embarrassing. A guy buys a 7-carat diamond for his wife. Everybody knows it's synthetic. It looks stupid. Okay? So when they start making less money, revenue. Remember I was talking about revenue? Because the prices are low. So even though they sell more, they're not making that much money. Their profits will come down. And you can't blame retailers for going where they can make money. That's why they're in business. They want to feed their children. Okay. So no, I don't blame anybody for selling LGD. If they can dance, dance. I just don't want them lying to the consumer. What do you think about the larger diamond prices this year? I think larger diamonds are getting a bit of a run. I showed you the graph where diamonds, caraters and larger had less problems. De Beers went down strongly with some of the bigger stuff. So I'm personally going to be going into larger diamonds in terms of what we promote and do, and maybe holding auctions of larger diamonds. I love larger diamonds. A lot of profit, great stuff, and you're dealing with rich people. I mean, I have a sickness. I'm thinking, if you want to sell diamonds to rich people. I'm so sorry I'm not so egalitarian or whatever. I think rich people, I want to pick my customers. Better to have a customer who's got money. Wow, this thing doesn't end. Well, will this be recorded? No, it is being recorded, but it's not going to be available. We're going to write articles. Rapaport should allow investors in the diamond market. Yeah, if they know what they're doing. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Why is gold up and diamonds and that? There's a lot of investors in the world. Wanted to attend the event you're doing in Mumbai? Yeah, you got to contact Blue Star Diamonds. Okay, I think it's Arnav. Okay, you can send us an email. How do you explain sales dropping by 20 cents by 20%, while prices staying the same? Selling less because I think the synthetic is going to take a 30% bite out of the natural diamond business. It's going to have people competing with it. Is the past falling sales always had led to falling prices? No, not always. How can I join? Register? Go to Rapaport.com. There's an easy solution, not natural disaster. We must make GA not use it. You can't control GA. It's a free market. I believe in competition. I think GA makes a mistake grading synthetic diamonds, FVVS, and all that. That was before, GA is a very smart organization. I think that they have excellent leadership, and they make mistakes. They don't make mistakes, but they're gonna change it because it's not going to be profitable. I mean, why aren't they making clarity calls and moissanite or quartz or anything else? It's not. That doesn't pay. The market drives GA too. As is it any USB and open source code to study? Not yet, but I tell you, Tracer. Tracer is pretty much an open book. They're using blockchain, so blockchain tends to be open. But it is, though, it's an irrefutable, it's an unchangeable record of transactions. So if you say this diamond was mined here, this diamond was cut there, this diamond was sold to this wholesaler, and you got the whole thing over there, which U.S. Customs gets to look at. So you can't change that, and that's important. Okay, so Customs can come in and say, hey, is there anybody on this chain of people that own this diamond at any time that was on the sanctions list, stuff like that? Okay. Hi, Jeremy. You mentioned the issue of price declines, and you discussed Russian diamonds and the future sanctions. However, you didn't discuss the relationship between how Russia, 3 billion of diamonds. Of course, they sold it to Belgians. Belgium had no problem buying these things. Belgium has no problem buying oil today. You got a huge market for Russian diamonds. China, everybody, except for the G7. Even the G7 was saying, okay, they're a little. I don't think Belgium's going to control all diamonds, but everyone's buying them. You can go today to. Dubai, come on, the whole Dubai is moving the stuff. So, and they will move the stuff. We can't stop other people from selling Russian diamonds. Well, all we can do is say we don't buy them. It's like kosher. I can't stop people from that. I don't want to stop people from eating non-kosher food. In this case, I do want to stop them, but I'm not in the business of stopping other people from doing things. I'm in the business of doing what's good. Okay, so we also the other one. There's going to be competition, but will there be competition in the United States? Will lower Russian diamond prices cause prices of diamonds in the United States to decline? I hope not, because the United States government and customs will have effective sanctions. You understand what I'm saying? So it's actually in our interest to have good sanctions. Sanctions are not when 3 major players, India, don't participate in the Western world sanctions and actually have supported Russian trade throughout the war. Why do you think the declarations will work? Because customs is going to crawl right up your butt. Once you say something and they got access to the blockchain, and by the way, U.S. Customs, I'm sure, sees all the diamonds that are happening. Okay? We don't hide anything from the U.S. government. And if you submit a diamond to the GIA that was stolen, my understanding is GIA will then hold the goods and invite the police to arrest you when you come to pick it up. So just understand, you can't get the whole idea we can get away with everything. Nah, not in this world. Thank you for taking your time to put this information. Is there a tool a consumer can buy to take with them when they're going to gem shows that will test for natural diamonds? Not at the gem show, but I do think IGI is doing some stuff at gem shows, maybe GIA. There'll always be a place. What's the consumer doing at a gem show? I don't know. But if they're talking about you're not talking about JCK. No. Now you have to look for the certificate, and then you got to check the diamond certificate. But the most important tool is to deal with people you can trust. Metrics and carbon emissions, no. But I do think the Natural Diamond Council has that. You can contact them. What I'm going to do, good, I'm coming to the end. Okay. What am I going to do if I don't know from which mine the diamond I own came from? And I do, and if I do, how can I prove it? I just bought it in the ISDE. Talk to your supplier and ask him where the diamond comes from. At the first least, you should get a statement from him in writing that says this diamond does not come from Russia or other sanctioned entities. Ask the guy. Now he won't know. I imagine that'll be grandfathered. But I would definitely import it to the United States before March 1 if you own the diamond. What is the best way to get involved? Please email me. I'm desperate for people to help us. I'm telling you, I'm working 20 hours a day now, and we got to get a lot of people to support us on this United States Diamond Protocol. Please, please, please contact us. Register. Let us know you're interested. Send me an email anytime. I'm building a team of people now that want to help us with this sanctions thing. Go to the government and ask them to give us reasonable regulations. We think that a fair, ethical trade is super important. Any link to SPN system mobile code, not yet. We'll try to improve. Contact me, help me, help. How is synthetic diamonds tarnish the colored diamond market? Interesting question. I mean, the same story there for that. It's not that different. So you were able to get all kinds of colored, synthetics. They're great products, but the prices will be lower. But you got to know where it comes from. Michael Coe. Would you think Jews need to earn their license? No, I don't think government's going to license companies. You want free trade. I think they should maybe consider licensing some of these appraisers that are just outrageous. Recent lawsuit on Art and Sotheby's about Sotheby's giving a very high estimates in appraisals. But why? There's a need. There's a need due to many fly-by-night new jewelers claiming they're professionals. Yeah, so consumers got to know where they buy from. Buyer beware. What's the deal with Belgium wearing import diamonds for the Yeah, they want to try to control the market, but it's not going to happen. I personally will look for enough support in the industry. If that happens and they're restraining the trade of the United States companies, I want to raise hell in Congress. How long do you think Russian sanctions last? I don't know. I hope the war ends. We have people working for us, by the way, in Ukraine. We have like 20 developers, 20 people in IT working there, and I worry about them all the time. I mean, they're like contract workers, but still in all, I hope the war ends. I also hope the war in Gaza ends, but not at any price. We have to end this kind of story. I'm not getting to that. Will there be an increase in polished diamonds because of the boycott of Russian goods? You mean increase of price, maybe? Increase of polished diamonds? No. Julian needs to look into professional training. Yes, yes, yes. We have to train our people. You know, I met this guy, Ed Bridges' father, went to visit him. Wonderful guy. Offered me a ride in nuclear submarines on some stage. They have people there that just so much training. You can't go wrong with training. Train, 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 train. The more you train your people, the better your business is going to be. You might train them and they're going to leave and go work for somebody else. It still pays to train. Go and train. Training is great. I preach you focus on polish, but I would like advice to produce such as. But what would you advise to be producers such as Botswana at this time of sanctions and certain? Yeah, I think Botswana is great. I was there, like I said, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, whatever. I met with the Minister of Mines. I gave us a webinar there, not a webinar, a seminar there. It's great. Botswana is a wonderful country, wonderful people. Contact me if you want to do business in Botswana. It's a great place. Do you think a vivid blue price could crash? Anything can crash. Don't forget, it's not only about the product, it's about how much money and liquidity there is in the markets. If you get into a real deep recession where rich people lose their things, and someone like Elizabeth, whatever, running for Congress, starts implementing a value, a tax on how much money you have, all kinds of things can happen. But it's a great opportunity for diversification. Yeah. Like gold, it's a good thing. Yeah. If you have the money, you're not going to buy them done. There are not a lot around. Okay? How can diamond dealers make the operations more? Oh, that's a great question. Talk to us. Maybe we'll do some training on that. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my company more efficient than the fact that it's an ongoing adventure. If the sanctions come in place in March 1, then how do we send and bring back goods from overseas? Read my proposal, okay? Read the thing, but what it says is that anything in the United States is kosher, and then I can put it into the blockchain because it was in the United States. And then once it gets a blockchain number, you can send it out and you can bring it back. I mean, shows and everything, it's a big issue. What are your top 3 recommendations for new generations entering the diamond business as a jeweler? We're late. People are still around. And how many people do we have? Has everybody left already, Joshua? How are we doing?
360 people left.
For 300 people, I'll tell the story. So this kid goes to the father and he says, I want to go in the diamond business. His father says, no, not for you. I want to go in the diamond. I want to go in the diamond. No, not for you. So the kid pesters his father and says, okay, but everything I tell you, you have to do without asking any questions. All right. Kid shows up the first day. The father opens the safe, says, take out the diamonds. See this chair? Lay out all the diamonds one after the other. Table down, cue it up. All right. Guy thinks his father's crazy. He says, father tells his kid, take off your pants. What? There's a door. Takes off. Tells the kid, take off your underpants. Kid says, what the hell? My father. Sit on the chair. The kid sits on the chair and the culets all really bite his ass. He goes, ow, 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 So the father says to the kid, what did you learn? Kid gives him a strange look. The father says, don't sit on the goods. I'm sorry, I can't hear you guys laughing. I'm sure someone out there's laughing. Don't sit on the goods. You buy it, you sell. Don't become a speculator. Don't take crazy risks. Okay? Like us, we don't keep in there because we don't buy diamonds. But that's the game plan. Move the goods. Move the goods. How do you move goods? Add value to the goods. Question yourself. What are you doing to add value? Who needs you? Okay? Become into fashion and design and love your customers. But before you love your customers, love yourself. Be proud of who you are and what you do. Add value and make sure you charge a fair price for the value added. And no Rosh Hashiva. Nice to hear. How can you tell diamond lab grown natural? You can go to a lab. Okay. Again, I'll tell you, so the lower colors you can't. And but there's machines. We got machines for $5,000-$6,000. We got machines all over the world for testing. And I think I told my people to write an article, maybe one of these next Rapaports, on who are supplying them. And if you're US, the United States Diamond Manufacturers and Import Association is teaching people as machines, call the Diamond Manufacturers and Import Association. Can you create a natural diamond? No, that it's not natural. Okay. How should a diamond investment be adjusted given the state? That's a whole other story. If you're interested in investment diamonds, send me some information. By the way, Josh, are we saving all these things? I'm sure we are, right?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay, so we can look at them later. If you want to do investment diamonds, talk to me, but be careful. Don't you think mines will close naturally? Don't you think mines will close naturally? Yeah, they ran out of diamonds, just like natural pearls go rare. And very hard to mine. Yeah, definitely. And you get big thing about diamonds is you got all kinds of qualities, and so there's a lot of rare ones too. By the way, we at Rapaport are introducing and marketing now real natural pearls from Bahrain. Very interesting product. You're in AGTI, you're interested in something natural and real and different, by means, send us an. Do you see any alternative market other than US in terms of volume? Well, China was there, but China is now into big trouble. Don't have time for it, didn't mention it. Yeah, China has that potential. And India is the third largest market. My God, it's such a wonderful place. Gosh, I love India in that way. I'm kind of pissed off because they have all these barriers to high duties, but India will be the #2 market. Will the fluorescent rough and polished demand, will a fluorescent increase in value as a proof of originality? I don't know, but that's something worth looking into. Also, make a note on this one also, Joshua. I think that you have type 2As and you have fluorescence and you have all kinds of characteristics of diamonds, but the reason that we have GIA and all that stuff doing all this is because it's not so simple to tell. But it does fluorescence. So the Yehuda machine is working on fluorescence. Now, should new generations continue to, yeah, you can, but be careful. You can, anybody can make a diamond, but can you make money? For someone who has an ample amount of laboratory loose diamonds that are GIA and IGA, would you recommend me to focus on these versus natural? These are natural. What kind are you talking about? Oh, you're talking laboratory grown stuff. Prices are going down. If you got customers, but I don't think you should hold inventory of LGDs or no. I call them LGDs. Whoops, synthetics. I diamond buy for myself for natural diamonds. That's wonderful. Thank you, and thank you for your kind wishes. I buy diamonds, did that twice. Will the recent price cut up? No, it won't have a major. Although there'll be other things. I'm more worried about synthetics than I am about this price consulting price. You did not answer the question. Sorry. You have not mentioned the EU as well. The EU is just trying to protect the Belgians. They're trying to turn the clock backwards in time so that Belgium can become the main center instead of Dubai. It's not going to work. Look at that. Can someone create a flashlight-sized synthetic diamond tester? It might. They might be able to. There's something called determinative gemology. Hofbauer is a really genius guy who did that. So that might happen. Okay, everybody. It is now 1:09. You've been with me for 2 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you over, and I beg you guys, please run to rapaport.com/sanctions and sign up. Let us know either anybody that can volunteer their time, their effort, their energy to help us. We need everybody, anybody. Please help us. I would also mention that we're looking to hire people in New York. We're looking for marketing manager. We're looking for all kinds of people. So, if you got anybody who's good, honest, decent human being with good values, please send us an email, hr@rapaport.com. We are always hiring in New York, particularly. So we're out there. We're looking for good people. But, today everybody works for fun. So thank you all. I'm done. And I'd like to catch you guys, see you and thank you. And let's have a great diamond year. Okay, guys?